And Darius Pickett's first season with the Redblacks wasn't supposed to end the way it did, with a torn Achilles last September. Now, despite missing a big chunk of the season, Pickett was still named an East Division All-Star. This past January, he signed a contract extension with Ottawa. And after a grueling recovery, the party starter is back on the field and looking a lot like his former self, which is bad news for the rest of the league. It's Chalk Talk now with Davis.
When I found out I was going to get a chance to talk to the party starter, first thing I did was call your defensive coordinator, Will Fields, and I asked him about the party starter. The first thing he said was he thinks it's funny when teams try to block him with a receiver.
I do. I find it very funny.
Can anybody block you with a receiver?
I really don't believe so. I haven't seen it. You know, people try, and a lot of times it's holding, although it may not get called. But if it's a fair one-on-one, I don't see it happening.
What have teams done to try to assist their receivers in blocking you off the edge?
Last year I found that teams would implement another offensive lineman to block me off the edge. They would literally bring in a whole different personnel package and take off a receiver off the field and bring an offensive lineman.
Six offensive linemen?
Yes, sir.
Give me your thought process as the motions come. Regular. And you realize that you're coming off the edge and you see that it's likely going to be a wide receiver blocking you.
I get excited because I know I'm going to get to the quarterback. I mean, looking at film study, you always can tell certain formations and certain motions bring what they bring and how the receivers react off of that. And so that's what I usually read, and then I trigger.
And a loss on this one as Rankin forced back by Pickett.
Nobody can stop me from getting to the ball. That's my job, is go find the ball. You see me go run across the field and make tackles, is wherever the ball is that I'm trying to be. So somebody in my way, and that's trying to stop me, but I want to get the ball.
That's a great segue. Somebody in your way. Let's take a look at this play right here. All right, against the Elks here, this is number 86 at the top of the screen. This is a guy that seems to be in your way. As you see him come in motion here, you'll see, here we come, he comes in motion. At what point do you know here how you're going to take this block on?
I'll say by formation, you got, I think it was a 23 set going to 32 when he coming in motion, but the back is at home, which means he's right behind the quarterback, and usually that indicates it's a run formation. It's either run or play action. So I'm anticipating run first, and then if I don't see run, of course go to the quarterback. But again, somebody in my way, just give him this move out the way. That's exactly what I'm thinking. With the tempo, his speed, it wasn't a fly motion. It was kind of like a tempo, so he can, gather his feet and, try to, take on the block.
If he goes to the flat, do you have
he won't go to the flat.
Responsibility there?
He won't go to the flat.
How come?
He gonna be on the ground, as you see.
Is this why he's not going?
It's gonna bring contact every time. He has to, because if not, the quarterback gonna get killed.
What are these conversations like? Are there at times guys, receivers, not wanting to block?
Kayon, nobody knows you, bro. Chill out. Hot. Better fall down next time.
Some receivers, they, try to fake the funk, initially, but you're not gonna do that all game long.
Hey, Flex, you know what's up, bro. You know what's up, bro.
I don't stop. And it's gonna be down after down, and every time they run the ball and you gotta block me, you gotta see me. Just over and over and over again.
Nigga. Yeah. You know what I do, Kayon.
And eventually they gonna break. So that's why I said it's fun, because you can see that the energy from the beginning of the game to the energy after halftime, and then it's totally different.
For those who don't know, you play the Sam position, which is a nickel, which is the defensive back. You're a cover guy.
100%.
Like, is there a switch you flip when you go into coverage mode? Because, you think technique, you think flip hips, you think quick feet, and now all of a sudden, it's running your helmet through faces.
It's football, you gotta be an all-around player. So when it's time for that, then it is. If I'm guarding somebody, I can't be holding or you gotta tone down the physicalness. It's finesse, right? But then at the same time, understanding the situation, where you at, I'm in a box.
The nickname party starter, is that part of it?
1,000%. Versatility. Infectious thing is physical football, right? Somebody get blasted or hit real well, that fired the whole defense up. Now everybody want a piece. And that's how the party starter thing come about.
You know who's not gonna RSVP?
Any receiver?
Wide receivers.
Any receiver.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Darius Pickett.
Much love, big dog.
Good chat there, Davis.
Yeah.
When you walked away from that, outside of the RSVPs from the wide receivers, what stood out to you about that interview and Darius?
He meant it. I mean,
he sure did.
I thought one of the things that rang true to me is that he said he's going to come all game long. And I know as skill position guys like us, I mean, Milt was joking while it was playing that he could block him. I mean, but point being is that, you know, you do have to deal with we want to run, we want to be smooth, we want to be quick, and he's a physical guy. Yep. And if you have to deal with him every snap, you know, play after play, that's a lot to deal with. That's one of the things that stood out to me is, you know, all game long he's going to bring in. If you watch him play, he's doing the same thing on special teams, defense. He's bringing that physical mentality, and I think it comes to his teammates as well.
Not only does he do it, he wants to do it. Special teams, I've seen a lot of coordinators that say, hey, look, you need to preserve your energy. He says, no, coach, I got to be in there. I got to be in there. So you got to respect that about the party starter every time he touches the field, for sure.
What's truly amazing is he's got to go after an offensive lineman and cover a receiver. It's a special position, special.
Yep. And for him, I wouldn't want to go up against that. No, thank you. And testing your stamina. And to think, you know, just last September, he tore his Achilles, and now here he is just making his mark all over the place. Speaking of starting the party, it is time for Anytime Touch. How's this been going so far? Who needs a win?
We got
everybody needs a win. I'm going to go with Nick Dembski for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm predicting a lot of handoffs to Brady Oliveira tonight. So if that happens, Nick Dembski is going to be open tonight. So let's see who you got.
I got Justin Hardy. Yeah.
You got Justin Hardy?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with Eugene Lewis. Winnipeg Blue Bomber, that defensive backfield is struggling. They're missing their two starting cornerbacks, Eugene Lewis, one of the best route runners, 50-50 ball, so I'm going with Eugene.
Enoch, I like what you said about him handing the ball off to Brady Oliveira, because that's who I'm going with. Brady Oliveira still hasn't scored a touchdown this season, but 168 scrimmage yards last week. He is due.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets more than one more carry.
Lots of changes in this secondary, so I agree. Same reason that I'm taking Justin.
Well, let's go back to the defense quickly now. And boy, has Willie Jefferson been making his presence felt the last few weeks, disrupting that line of scrimmage, putting all kinds of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Those long arms doing work. And with more on him, it's up to the booth and Glenn Sooner.
Yeah, you know, Willie Jefferson, he's been called a freak. He's been called a unicorn. He does what his superpower is to knock the ball down. We've seen that so many times, and he does it better than anyone in the league's history. And it's easy to say with Willie Jefferson that it's because he is so tall. He's 6'7". He's got that reach. It's like for opposing quarterbacks trying to throw it around an oak tree. However, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and the coaches are part of this too. First of all, the coaches can put him in positions to get in the throwing lane. But most importantly, Willie Jefferson works at it. He studies every single quarterback and their throwing motion, their arm angles, when they like to throw from the pocket, where they're going to throw from, and how they're going to release that football. He is a student of the game that spends hours in the film room looking at Nick Arbopko. Where is he going to release the ball? Is it going to be over his shoulder, above his head, or is it going to be sidearm? He looks at every single quarterback and has a book on him. Now, this is what happens when the coaches get involved. He's usually an edge rusher, but Willie Jefferson can go down that B gap between guard and tackle. When he's in that B gap, he's in the throwing lane, and that gets him some of those opportunities. And of course, we know his athleticism. He can redirect if you try to escape, and still know that if a quarterback rolls out, his arm angle will change because he's done the homework and he knows where to put his hands to get those blocks. So yes, he is tall. Yes, it is like throwing around an oak tree, but he puts a lot of work into it, guys.
Spree Willie is who Willie Jefferson has been as of late. Leads the CFL 9 total pass knockdowns. He's recorded multiple knockdowns in back-to-back games, 7 total in the past 3 contests. He's just 1 away from tying his season total of 10 from last year. I say he gets there. Again, it's just week 11. Let's go to Britt now, who is with Willie Jefferson.
Well, Willie, tell me what preparation looks like in a shortened week.
Everything's crammed into a couple of days. You know, you got to get your rehab in. You still have to get your lifts in, but you still have to get your film study in, right? This group of coaches, these group of players that we have, you know, we are real students of the game. So as soon as we were able to get the film and stuff like that from Ottawa, we was all locked in, ready to watch some film, ready to break it down together as a team, offense, defense, special teams, and I feel like we came out here ready to play.
Well, you're currently leading the league in knockdowns. What's been the key to success?
Key to success for the defense is get to the quarterback early, win on first down, get off the field on second down, offense, finish the drives, get in the end zone as much as possible, and for the special team just to keep the momentum up, try to flip the field and just keep the momentum.
Thanks so much, Willie.
Thank you, guys. Love you, Mama.
Jefferson is hoping to make things very difficult for that man tonight. Drew Brown coming off a career game last week after throwing 5 touchdowns against the Argos. We'll hear from the Redblacks quarterback when our pregame show continues.
You're down 22-1. What was going through your mind going into that second quarter?
A look for Gino Lewis, and he has it. He's taking a shot. End zone open, touchdown.
Just freed us up, you know, to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Soft toss to the end zone, touchdown. Ottawa Redblacks do it again. It's Hardy.
Everyone does what they're supposed to, including myself, and we're going to put up a lot of points.
End zone, touchdown. Touchdown Redblacks. And that one puts Ottawa in front with 41 seconds to go.
That early season hip injury, a distant memory for Drew Brown now. He's been dialed in as of late. He threw as many touchdowns as incompletions last week. And now he's facing his former team tonight in Winnipeg. He is standing by with Britt.
Drew, your squad coming off back-to-back wins. Can you just talk about the momentum of this team right now?
Yeah, you know, we're believing in one another and what we can do. Should be a good challenge tonight.
Well, I know you're a couple seasons removed, but what is it like when you do get to come back to Winnipeg here and play on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a great environment, you know, one of the best in the league. You know, I know a lot of guys over there, got a lot of respect for them, so it should be fun tonight.
Went 5 for 5 in the red zone last week. How can you be efficient out there on offense again tonight?
Try and do the same thing.
Thanks, Drew.
Short but sweet.
Such a trash talker, just like a Darius Pickett, eh? Big trash talker.
But this offense looking like a totally different offense now that Drew Brown is back, averaging 25 points per game, their most since 2018. They know about the receivers. They've got a talented group there. Yeah. Do you think they'll be able to take advantage of this banged-up secondary for Winnipeg?
Yeah, absolutely. And I pulled up a couple plays I wanted to show from Drew last week. And I mean, this league now has become defenses now want to take away the vertical stuff. So when you see cover 4 type coverages or 4 deep, it ends up turning into every vertical route ends up getting double teamed. So Drew right now, watch this throw. This was the throw of the week last week. Watch this throw between 2 defenders in a tight window. He gets pressure in his face. He just flings the ball here, pressure in his face. It's a cover 4 or 4 deep. He has to throw it between the safety and the halfback there, or the backside and the front side halfbacks here. Sky in his face, rips the ball. Look at that window right there. He throws the ball. He's not looking right now. He's already turned around. He's ripped the ball from 40 yards away. And the tight window that he throws it in is incredible to Justin Hardy for the touchdown here. Absolutely. Pressure in his face, rips the ball. There's only one place this ball can go to Justin Hardy, and there it is. touchdown. Look at that tight window throw. I mean, we're talking. That is as good of that's as good a throw as you'll see. Same thing here. 4-deep type coverage. You're going to see up the seam. There's only one place this ball can go, and that's between the halfback or the safety and the corner on the bottom. And he hits the seam right away. He's got to throw with anticipation here in order to get into that window. And again, throws it on time, anticipates that window. He knows where the coverage is, but there's only one spot to put it right there. Again, that's Brandon Addison, but just the anticipation we saw, the tight window throws, they look easy. They're very difficult throws.
Yeah, Winnipeg is going to need to score some points today because we know these Redblacks can put up some points. Drew Brown almost had a perfect game last week. As you mentioned, Laura, he had as many incompletions as touchdowns. You know, he was 84%, 373 yards and 5 touchdowns. And with that receiving core, if Winnipeg can't keep pace, this game could get out of line. So it's going to be an exciting game if Winnipeg is able to keep pace because I know these Ottawa Redblacks with Drew Brown, they're going to put up some points.
All the stats that you talk about, Milt, what I loved about Drew Brown's performance last week was also the fact that he didn't throw any interceptions as well. So he has a good handle of that offense, and he has plenty of weapons around as well as it is balanced. I love the fact that this offense also commits to the run. It's not William Stanback of old, but they still commit to the running game. 17 times they handed the ball off to William Stanback last week, and they'll sprinkle some Daniel Adeboboye as well in there, and they're doing a great job of balancing the offense, and they are dangerous. They are absolutely dangerous. To your point, Milt, there's going to be a shootout if Winnipeg wants to stay in this game. But Ottawa also has to get off to a good start because it is Winnipeg, and it's going to get loud if they don't.
One last point. We was talking about party starter, not blocking him. I would have lit Enoch.
Oh, come on,
man. I would have lit that sucker up.
Man, you can only dream up.
I got you.
The Redblacks have only scored 21 points in the first quarter. They only have 1 point in their last 3 games, so they need to get off to a better start here tonight. We're getting closer to kickoff.
Let's do it, Milt.
Drew Brown, fresh off a 5-touchdown performance last week, and the Redblacks are feeling it. They won back-to-back games for the first time this season and looking to keep it going tonight in Winnipeg, while Zach Collaros and the Bombers are hoping to get back on track. After starting the season 3-0, they've now lost 4 of their last 5. Maybe a little home cooking will be just what the doctor ordered. Maybe a little Thursday night football will be just what the doctor ordered. As we say hello and welcome here inside the studio, Laura Dyke and Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, as well as Milt Stegall. So yes, after a fantastic week 10, we're looking to keep things going here again. Again, those 4 games were decided by 9 points. The Bombers were the last team, one of the last teams to play in week 10, and now one of the teams to open up week 11. We're talking key matchups here. So what are you keeping your eye on here, Milt?
I'm going those young cornerbacks. You know, they've started a total of 1 game combined this year. Lawson Jr. and Vavel going against who? Eugene Lewis. That's who the matchup I'm looking at. Also, I think Vavel may be the most important player for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, not only at corner, but also their man returner.
I don't often do this, Milt, but I agree with you. That is the key matchup, those corners against receivers. But I'm going to look at something else, the pass rush. If the corners need to hold up out there, the pass rush, Willie and Vadas, 2 older guys, they got to find a way to get to the quarterback. That will help out those young corners. They won't have to pressure as much.
I agree with you. I'm going to go exactly with the pass rush as well. And getting to Drew Brown is going to be extremely important. Again, he had 373 yards last week. You got to make him uncomfortable in Winnipeg if you want to have a chance tonight. And one of the things that Ottawa does really well, they add Gosselin, their fullback, as well as an extra offensive lineman. They know what they have up front, but they do a great job of hiding that. So that's going to make it difficult for Vadas. It's going to make it difficult for Willie Jefferson as well to get to him. And if you can't get to Drew Brown, he's going to let it rip.
You know what? So watch this then. To your point and what we're talking about, if they do max protect, watch this, the matchup. If they max protect and extra lineman or the fullback in and then get one-on-ones with either Hardy or Lewis against those young corners, that'll be key. So not just the matchup, but also schematically how they attack them.
The Bombers have won 9 of the last 12 head-to-head meetings. Ottawa hasn't won in the Peg since August 17th, 2018, so almost 7 years to the day. We'll see what tonight brings. Kickoff is right after this. touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win Girls Freeze for a year. If 2 are returned, you could also win $1 million. We need another $1 million given out. Good luck to you, Wade, as we turn things over now to Glenn Suter and Marshall Ferguson.
Thank you, Laura, and welcome to Winnipeg. After a wacky and wild week number 10, we are set to kick off week 11 with 2 teams on the opposite end of comeback thrillers. Marshall Ferguson alongside Glenn Suter. Britt Dort down at field level for us here throughout the evening. And the quarterback that was on the winning side of the comeback equation, Glenn Suter, is Drew Brown. What a week for him.
What a week. Drew Brown orchestrated the best comeback in Redblack history when he came back from a huge deficit to beat the Toronto Argonauts with 5 touchdown passes last week. Wants to carry that momentum into this one tonight. Zach Collaros, on the other hand, he wants to get some traction for this offense, get started again. They got shut down by the Calgary Stampeders, especially in that second half. He wants to change that tonight.
Mike O'Shea said the balance on a short week is trying to figure out how to be competitive but not overload his team by putting in too much in this ball game. And on the other side, Bob Dice, and he really believes it's all started out with special teams. The coverage that they got last week helped them in this game as 2 teams hot in the hunt as we hit the midway point of the 2025 CFL season.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like a secondary flyover, huh?
Love it. Thank you to all the men and women in the military for all that you do. A great way to kick this one off tonight.
Thought this crowd, another sellout here at Princess Auto, couldn't be more fired up. Well, now they are. On the tee, Ottawa sends it away. As Trey Babel will return it from his own 25-yard line. Jumps across to the 35, then 40, wrapped up and sent back there as Zach Collaros comes out after a massive lead last week against the Calgary Stampeders. Couldn't finish off the job. He'll try to do it here at home.
Yeah, had a tough second half offensively, and this is a quarterback now that is completion percentage at 74, best of the last 3 years for Zach Collaros. And this is the team, as we keep reminding folks, that have been to the Grey Cup 5 straight years in a row. Yet no traction in the second half versus Calgary.
Stanley Bryant digs in at left tackle to protect Zach throughout the evening. They'll begin on the ground as they do so often with Brady Oliveira. And Javon Santos knocks grabs on for dear life. And it's a Winnipeg first down 4 now as flags come out.
See what this penalty is. Kendall Randolph had a huge block, basically collapsed the left side of the Redblacks defense.
Bennett Williams was a game time decision. Talking things through with the Ottawa sideline from his free safety spot.
New rule proposal. No penalties allowed in the first play of the game.
Everybody fired up to get this one going.
Major foul, face mask, Winnipeg number 69. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yeah, you're right. It did go against Randolph because he had that play-changing block.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looked like it was fairly clean. Blocked down and then got to the second level in the linebacking core. Watch big 69, the right tackle. He just slides down up to that next level in the middle linebacker. But you do see the right hand. Santos knocks on the face mask. The correct call was made. There's the face mask, right hand.
Winnipeg fans, I'm sure, happy to see Brady Oliveira charging downhill early. Now they'll empty it out 3 by 3. Collaros 6 options and completes this pass. And underneath, it is Jarrett Stearns as he's surrounded by the rest of the Winnipeg offense.
Take a look at that O-line up front. Gabe Wallace will play in there for Vanderpool again. This will be his 7th start. Injury situation has put Wallace back in there. He's at normally the 6th offensive lineman. And Brady Oliveira was their leading receiver against Calgary. I didn't make a mistake there. He was their leading receiver. Had 100 yards receiving against the Calgary Stampeders. I'm sure Zach wants to change that as much as he loves throwing it to Brady.
Well, now they split him out wide and down the shoot. It is Nick Dowd.
Dembski's going to stem it a little bit inside. He's going to come off the line of scrimmage with his waggle, stem a bit, and then head straight down the seam. The pre-snap look-off as Zach looks hard to his left and then goes back down that hash mark to his favorite target.
Old reliable. And Nick Dembski absorbing the contact. Robert Priester hanging on, as this time they'll go back inside to Oliveira. Michael Krisak, the fullback, in the formation as well, and plunge their way forward through this Ottawa defense that will have to deal with number 20 all night long.
Mufta Ajeli is going to be playing in the interior of that defensive line. Canadian out of Windsor, Ontario, U-Sport All-Canadian, and there is one of the most active, productive linebackers in the game, and Darius Pickett leads the team in tackles. DeAndre Lamont is going to play halfback for Amari Henderson in the back end.
Henderson down with a knee injury, and Lamont stepping in from a depth role in the team the last couple of weeks as they'll blitz Pickett right into the jet play, and is that Dylan Mitchell getting absolutely walloped, and Bryce Carter picking himself up off the turf and asking for a quick break, but what an explosion of bodies in the middle.
Just a great get off the ball. That first step, steps up and beats his block, beats the block of Kolinkowski, the center, and is in the backfield. And the fans here a little upset that Coach O'Shea isn't going for it on third down.
Well, he's got a kicker who's worthy of the distance based on last week.
No question.
63 yards, Sergio Castillo last week against Calgary. This one a little inside and straight down the middle. Never in doubt. He made it from 49, 53, and 63 last week. 4 for 4. He begins tonight 1 for 1. Well, it's only Bo Levi Mitchell and Drew Brown of the Ottawa Redblacks with 5 touchdown passes in 2025, and they needed all of them in order to complete the comeback against Toronto last week.
Well, down early in that one by over 20 points. Came all the way back in that fourth quarter, and Drew was on. Justin Hardy, his favorite target, but he spread it around.
Brown digs in for the first time here tonight, and the place he used to call home goes to the outside, hangs this one out. Justin Hardy climbs the ladder, cuts it back across the 40, and dives down to the 30-yard line. You don't think of Justin Hardy going vertical, but on full display.
He just pulled his Gino out of his pocket. This is a Gino Lewis type play, but Hardy can do it too. I mean, nice, first of all, nice route, get to the outside on Dexter Lawson Jr. I heard the panel talk about it in the pregame show, the matchup between the wide receivers and receiving core in Ottawa against a young Winnipeg secondary. There's example 1 is what they were talking about.
Hardy now 7 of 11 on contested grabs this year. That one was spectacular. They'll hand off the little end around Daniel Adeboboye. Solid pickup on first down. He hung forever on this. How many times does Justin Hardy run routes over the middle? This one outside and had to get all the way up.
Yeah, I thought this had a chance to be picked. I mean, the jump on that ball from Lawson looked like he had the best angle, and Hardy just took it away from him.
The gain of 6 from Adeboboye on first down. Empty it out. Brown looks to his left underneath. There is Gino Lewis. Gets pile driven backwards, but he's got the first down as Drew Brown setting a career high last week, as we said, monster numbers, 373 total.
Completion percentage, again, way up there. Can't emphasize enough that 57 to 60 used to be great.
Yep.
Now we're up around 74, and a lot of quarterbacks are doing it. Two tonight are.
Brown checks the play at the line of scrimmage here. Communicates with Braylon Addison to his left. Adeboboye is in the game. They will hand it off in between the tackles on first down, going nowhere. Winnipeg's defense stacks that one up as the Ottawa offense looks like this.
Better up front, playing together when Peter Godberg got back in the lineup a couple games ago, and he injured and coming out of training camp. There's Justin Hardy with his big game against the Argos in that comeback, and already a highlight catch here tonight.
You know, Lewis only has 4 catches in the score zone. They're all touchdowns. Justin Hardy only has 4 catches in the score zone. They're all touchdowns. Those are their go-to inside the 20-yard line. Brown, plenty of time, rips this one to the outside, and a flag does come out. That time, Braylon Addison, the intended receiver. Brown leaned into that one, incomplete. But it looks like they will get the newcomer out there.
Pass interference.
Cam Allen.
Winnipeg, number 0. Automatic first down.
That's Cam Allen out of Purdue, who's dressed tonight because of the changes necessary in the secondary. He's a raw rookie. Braylon Addison on the outcut. Okay, that was the penalty, or that's what they called. I'd call it.
Well, the pile driver comes in, and Dustin Crum.
Not sure I like that one.
9 carries, 5 touchdowns on the year, and the ball is out underneath. And did Crum get back on top of it? Just barely, but backwards they go.
See that exchange from center. The snap was great. Just bounced off his top hand, and then tried to scoop it so that he could continue with the play, and realized I better just recover this baby.
Tony Jones right there to wrap him up. They send Crum to the sideline, and Drew Brown comes back in after the loss of 1. Winnipeg sellout crowd is into it. Brown, hands off inside. Adeboboye leans for the end zone. No call yet. They get a look at the spot.
Scores and potential scores are automatically replayed. The replay center will take a look at this to see if he did break the plane. Ruling on the field was no touchdown. I didn't see enough evidence to change it.
Winnipeg creates a wall on 1st and 2nd. What can they do on 3rd? Dustin Crum back into the ballgame, takes the snap clean, rolls to his left, got stood up and turned around. Thumbs down from Tony Jones and co.
That's just an intensity win by the defense. That intensity level for the Bombers, just a little higher than the Redblacks.
Bombers defense all over it. They hold, get Colaros the football back.
Unreal intensity from the right side of this defensive line. That's Kyrie Wilson and Tony Jones coming off the edge from the linebacking core on the line of scrimmage, fighting their men off. Kyrie Wilson takes the O-lineman, puts him on his back, and Tony Jones takes on the block from Adeboboye, fights through to get to Crum, and holds him out of the end zone.
Slow starters, these Ottawa Redblacks of the last couple of weeks. Backed up deep in their own end. Winnipeg goes to work. Hard count, and they just got a jump. Leon Lang, eyes to the sky.
Yep.
Offside.
Sneaky veteran.
Ottawa number 90.
Well, it's deliberate, as you know. I mean, whether it's...
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, if you're in short yardage, you try it. Let's hear Zach do it. You must have loved doing that and watching D linemen jump off sides.
What I liked a lot more was not feeling like the goalpost was going to eat me as you get 5 yards of space.
That's important.
Colaros goes back to work after the free 5 inside. Brady Oliveira lunging towards the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Mill talked about it in the pregame that Brady Oliveira had just one carry. He led the team in receiving, but had just one carry against Calgary, and that's just not Winnipeg formula. That's just not how they've won, not how they've been the top team in the West for the last 5 years. It's run big time on first down with Brady Oliveira, get that offensive line attacking rather than sitting back, and then go to play action and throw the ball down the field from there.
Chris Strebler checks in with the short yardage unit deep in their own end. Take the snap. Never in doubt. The push that Ottawa dearly needed with their second turnover on downs inside the score zone this year. Just a few plays ago, Winnipeg goes and gets it.
So 3 stages of the drive. Stage 1 for an offense to get out of your own end, so you can flop the field position after your defense got the good goal line stand. Phase 2, getting field goal range. Phase 3, looking for the major.
Number 1 rushing offense for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 118 yards per game. 9th ranked passing attack right now. Part of that was Zach Collaros out to injury. Chris Strebler in, struggling at times, but Zach is back. He's back to his old trick, slipping it underneath. Dembski gets another out to the 30-yard line.
Doesn't take much. It doesn't take many runs. If you establish Brady Oliveira early, you'll get the defense influenced by his play action. So watch Zach Collaros here go to play action with Brady Oliveira. That influences the defensive end. He crashes down, and Collaros goes outside and hits Dembski.
Dembski off and running here tonight. Collaros fakes the flip inside, looks to the flats, now sidearms this one. Tight coverage on the play. Jarrett Stearns, the intended receiver, and there is DeAndre Lamont at Illinois State, second year, stepping in and making a nice play in coverage.
Yeah, real good coverage on the curl route, coming back, because with Zach Collaros outside, and you wonder about the double moves, but that was clear curl from Stearns, and Lamont right in his back pocket.
A backside view. I think the fans here at Princess Auto thought
it was a little early. Yeah. Well, after that pass interference in the corner, I think the fans are owed one. But stage 1 complete for Winnipeg in this drive. If they have to punt from here, it's a win after the goal line stand.
If they can convert on 2nd and long, these are these essential downs where you lean on Collaros. 5-man rush, and Zach with pressure on, rolls away from it, trying to escape. He does from 1 man, then 2, and then takes the seat right in front of Javon Santos Knox, as chase being given first by Adarius Pickett, and then flying in from Aiden John.
Looked like Collaros had time initially, so an assist to the Ottawa secondary there, because it was a few steamboats before he escaped.
Pickett the first to get pressure on that play. The all-around all-star, all CFL. Jamison Sheen gets set to boot this one away, and pressure on, he does, but it affected the kick, no doubt, as Khalil Pimpleton catches it on the run around his 40, and tremendous coverage that time. Number 29, Ethan Ball, as Drew Brown, 5 touchdown passes last week, the most since November of 2016 when he played at Hawaii. "28 years old is Drew Brown. He learned at the knee of Zach Collaros, understanding how to play quarterback. The last 2 games look okay, Sits?
Well, I would think so. I mean, first of all, completion percentage. I'm harping on that because it's through the roof. But protecting the football while being aggressive and racking up 7 touchdown passes, 5 against Toronto.
Brown begins with an inside handoff. There's William Stanback churning his way through this Winnipeg defense.
Well, Willie Jefferson, we talked about in the pregame show, he's at it again. 9 knockdowns. That leads all defenders in the Canadian Football League. Swatting the ball away. Tony Jones has settled in nicely at that middle linebacker spot. Always key on that goal line stand. And we'll talk about the corners as this goes on, but Trey Babel gets a start for Terrell Bonds.
Ottawa going with a silent count, also trying to sneak to the line of scrimmage so the crowd couldn't get into it, but then they had to wait as now Jefferson gets held. And Brown thinks he's going to create a little something special on the sideline here, but this one will go backwards, as inescapable as number 5, the length, the quickness, and the variety of pass rush moves.
Well, it's as good as a sack. Willie Jefferson, you're going to have to double team.
Ottawa number 59. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Willie Jefferson joined the Winnipeg Blue Bombers back in 2019, and they've been to the Grey Cup ever since. I think one guy you can build around just like that when he's as good as Willie Jefferson.
Don't let number 5 get going. Once he gets one little taste of it, he'll take off. Parker Moore had no chance at right tackle on that play. As Brown operating against the crowd noise that he used to enjoy as a Bomber. He'll flip it out to the flats. It's caught. Braylon Addison's got a long way to go. Gets flipped upside down. Coming downhill once again is Cam Allen out of Bluefield, Virginia, making the play, and the punting unit will come out.
Yeah, we had a great discussion here with Willie Jefferson talking about the work that he puts in and the study habits that he has when it comes to that superpower of knocking the ball down.
Pressure on, blocked. It's up in the air, rolling around, and picked up. A flag comes down. And who got on top of it for Ottawa? Was that Kenny Onyeka? And they'll have to sort this one out. Got to think the flags are no yards, but the protection completely caved in by Winnipeg's special teams unit.
The ball went past the line of scrimmage. You still have to give 5 yards. Grabbing it in the air doesn't do that.
Laros and the Winnipeg offense on the field. As replay official Jeff Harbin looks at it back in the CFL replay center and confirms with our referee tonight, Tim Croker.
No yards. Ottawa number 85. It's 15-yard penalty. First down, Winnipeg.
Big chunk of field position here as well, Suits.
Who got it?
Tanner Schmeckel takes the play for Winnipeg. Hard-fought games for both these teams last Saturday. It's a bit of a short week, some differing approaches. Britt Dort has more.
Yeah, what I loved about Brady Oliveira's approach, he said, call me crazy, but I actually love these short weeks. I actually kind of find like I thrive in them, especially down the stretch as you're getting the grind of the CFL season. He said, I actually don't mind him after a loss, too, because it doesn't really give you a lot of time to think about it. You're forced to flush it and move on. But perhaps the best mentality came from Bob Dice, who told us it doesn't let coaches mess anything up because they don't have time to. And he said that mentality came from a time he ran into John Chick in an elevator in Saskatchewan, who told him just that. He said, you coaches don't have time to put in all these special things. You just have to go out there and play, and quote, it's just true football.
I love it. I could just see John Chick. If you remember John Chick, big defensive lineman, says it like he, top of his mind. Yeah, I like the short weeks because you guys can't screw it up.
Very nonchalant. I'm sure it was just like, yeah, thank you for not messing this up. Yes. Appreciate it. As Colaros goes back to work. Great field position here for the Bombers as he checks it down underneath to his leading receiver last week. As Brady Oliveira gets wrapped up and thrown down by the one, the only, Darius Pickett.
Let's go back to the block kick. Big play in this game when Zach Colaros got a little breathing room. Then they punt. The defense does its part, gets the 2 and out, and then the block comes down the middle, and the special teams contribute. And now the Bombers, not long after, are in field goal range.
The worst possible sound you can hear if you're the long snapper, Peter Adjei, is thump in behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Start turning your head around and going, okay. Not supposed to hear the double thud. Laros looks downfield on second and long, throws into a tight window. Javon Santos-Knox was flying out from linebacker and delivered the blow on Carrick Wheatfall, but he held on to it.
It's time for Wheatfall to get going. They need to activate this guy to help out on Nick Dembski. He started the season on fire, on a 100-yard game right out of the gate. And in the last 5, you can't, when you combine all the yards in the last 5 games, they don't match what he did in that first game against the Lions. I mean, he had the big start and then has tailed off. They need to activate him. That's a good start in this one.
Santos Knox would have played the football. Might have had a pick there, but he went body. And it means a Winnipeg first down. Now looking to the end zone at the end of the first quarter. Up in the air, Jarrett Stearns brings it down from the Winnipeg sky.
Jarrett Stearns looks at this and says, Justin Hardy, I can do this. I'll do it in the end zone. Very similar. Well-covered receiver goes up and just takes the football. That's a Darius Pickett. Win the jump ball. 2 highlight reel catches already tonight. 1 for a touchdown.
4th touchdown of the season for Jarrett Stearns. Previous longest play was 24 yards on the season. That one was all effort and energy. Massive appreciation from Nick Dembski as we reach the end of the first here in Winnipeg. For 1 quarter of play, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they are up 10-0. Tons of energy inside the building here, Glenn Suter, and the big touchdown, the big play, the worst way for a defensive back to get beat.
Well, Darius Pickett was slamming the turf after that touchdown catch because as a defensive back, if I have position here, the ball's coming this way, and you're the receiver, I have position on you, I'm winning this play. I'm in perfect position to play the ball in front of you. You reach over and take it away from me.
Go get it.
That drives me nuts as a defensive back. So I can tell you right now, Darius Pickett is mad, but if I know a Darius Pickett, and you've watched him many times, he'll bounce back with some big plays tonight. But he has perfect position here to win on this play. And Jarrett Stearns says, not this time.
Flat-footed, and what ball placement by Zach Collaros as well. As he is spinning it here tonight to get Week 11 going on Thursday Night Football from Winnipeg. First quarter of Week 11, picking right where Week 10 left. That's big hit on special teams.
What a hit.
And once again, second time, I believe.
Ethan Ball, yeah. Ethan Ball, draft pick this year out of North Dakota, Fighting Hawks, and then transferred to the University of Calgary. And he has made an impact on these cover teams, back-to-back plays. That's hustling down and stopping one of the top returners in the league.
Templeton jumping right into the middle of the fray. That time, plenty of fast, fired-up Canadians down on special teams, making plays as Willie J digs in and gets ready to go after Drew Brown once again. Begin with a handoff inside. Ottawa's trying to lean on the first down running attack here, Suits, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the front four for the Bombers have a different idea, and handling those gaps. Again, I mentioned off the top in the intros that Tony Jones is settling in nicely and may become one of the best run stoppers in the game from the middle linebacker spot. You saw him on the goal line.
Pressure look. Brown checks at the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time on the play clock. As Winnipeg does send the heat. Adams giving chase as Brown rolls out to his right, buys as much time as he can, and then has to just get rid of it. And it's a 2-and-out for the Ottawa offense. It's averaging 25 points per game so far this season, their highest scoring rate since 2018, but off to a slow start once again.
Yeah, that's been an issue for Bob Dice's crew. You talked about it off the top, and their first quarter, another first quarter with a big goose egg, and you're averaging like 1 point in the first quarter in the last 4 games. But they had the big fourth quarter against Toronto.
No doubt. See if they can protect Leone on this one. He gets a high spiraling boot away, drops down to Trey Babel. Inside his own 25, makes a move at the point of attack. Great open field tackle, though. Wrapped up and brought down. Is the level of play, the quarterbacks have been sensational. Not just last week, which was a historic week, but yeah, that 70s show. What are these numbers?
Well, I mean, you're a former quarterback. I mean, you're younger, of course, but I'm thinking back in the old days, 57% to about 62, you were top of the league. And the interception touchdown ratio was different then. It was closer, you know, to, there was a few exceptions, Ricky Ray, Dave Dickinson, guys like that, but that completion percentage through the roof. And people will say, well, it's probably a lot of checkdowns. No, not really.
Oliveira goes back to the ground attack here and plunges up inside. But yeah, I mean, there's also this idea of handing it down, right? Ryan Dinwiddie was a pretty high completion percentage guy. He's handed that down to Nick Arbuckle right now.
Yes.
Dave Dickinson doing it in Calgary, trying to get that in VA's game. Used to try and get it out of Bo. It's an evolution of decades of players becoming coaches and figuring out, you know what's really good in efficiency? If we can just get the ball to the right guy at the right time.
And these veteran quarterbacks are delivering.
Just watching Tommy Condell staring to the opposite end of the field as Zach Collaros is warming up. Used to be together with the Tiger Cats plenty of time ago. He knows what Zach's capable of. There's the Redblacks defense after that touchdown pass earlier, and now he gets it outside. And Dylan Mitchell will enjoy that much more than his first touch of the ball game when he got absolutely popped by Bryce Carter. A nice route that time by 13.
Yeah, and a tough throw to make because Collaros had to throw around the rush, but this is just a speed cut to get to the out as quickly as he can and beat the zone. Coming right at you. So you want to be a cameraman.
CJ Colden there in coverage on the last play, and he's right there once again going after that side of the field right now as Jared Stearns, a massive touchdown at the end of the first quarter, moves the sticks once again for Winnipeg.
Yeah, and a nice play call to get Zach Collaros out on the and roll him out, change the launch point. Don't make it so predictable that the defensive line knows exactly where the quarterback's going to be on every second and long.
Good look at offensive coordinator Jason Hogan. Hard to believe Zach Collaros with that touchdown pass, 9 on the season. Finally more than interceptions. He's also got 8 of those as now he'll flip it out to the flats and was looking for Oliveira. And sometimes you got a two-way go and you find a stop sign out of nowhere.
Well, you know, everything was right on the play except for the finish and the stepping up. Correct call. The idea to get it to your tailback instead of scrambling and taking a hit, it was a good decision and just missed on the throw.
Collaros for a second, I'm sure, thought about running. Hard to believe. Brady Oliveira, no rushing touchdowns so far this year. Zach does have one against Edmonton, the big late game scramble. They'll bump out Oliveira. Collaros will screen it back the other way. It's Densky, plenty of open field. Crosses the 30, turns on the Jets, and he's in a race once again with a Darius Pickett. As the Ottawa defense gets shredded by the screen game.
Patrick Neufeld is going to make a key block right here on the safety, Bennett Williams. Watch how Neufeld comes out here. Now he's going to pull. Stop it here. He's the lead guy trying to find a DB, and how hard that is for offensive linemen, I can't tell you. It's tough to get them. They're too quick. He just steps into him and takes him out.
A longer discussion for a different day, but is there anybody who sets up a block better than Nick Dembski?
Oh, exactly. Be patient, get out there, let Neufeld do his thing. I mean, that to the right of your screen there, that's just take him right out. No recovery possible. See Williams trying to scramble to get up and still make a play. Pickett came from all the way from the backside.
Williams heads to the sideline slowly. How many times do you see offensive linemen whiff when they try to do that too?
That's
right?
it. Yeah, you can. You know, you're supposed to have faster feet to get around him, but Neufeld timed it up and caught him.
A big chunk gain once again for Nick Dembski sets up Winnipeg pretty here. Up 10, looking to score again. Pump to Michael Chris Ike, come back across his body, big hit inside the 5. It's Justin Howell, the free safety, who lays it on Carrick Wheatfall, but once again, deep inside scoring territory for the blue and gold.
There's two very tough catches made by Carrick Wheatfall in this game tonight. Change motion coming in, and then he's going to take a big hit. Second time tonight, just like that, across the middle, and hangs on.
Late substitutions here from both sides, but the short yardage package is in. Chris Strevler in behind Chris Kolinkowski, plunges his way forward. And the 6th opportunity here for Chris Strevler to reach the end zone.
One of the reasons, by the way, that Brady Oliveira doesn't have a touchdown yet is that Strevler inside the 5 is often running those quarterback sneaks.
Absolutely. Stealing it. And 17 makes it 17-0 for Winnipeg. The same lead they had against Calgary last week. Looking to hold on here at On Crave. I mean, one of the best teams.
I hear you.
The last year at the Ralph, they're getting it done this year, okay?
You heard it here first.
You're going to go, there's, in my mind, they go into the new stadium. They get to drop the banner. We'll see how it turns out, but Hard Knocks available for you only on Crave. And Sergio Castillo wants to have a question with Tim Croker. Hey, did we get the kicking ball? Is this the one that I hit from 63? Is it flat? Is it? All right. You know what? Let's give him a new one.
Tied a CFL record.
Does that one go in the Hall of Fame too, or?
Against Calgary, didn't get the win. Crazy. Just what a week 10 it was. I mean, the comebacks, the kickers, the quarterbacks. Okay, got a new one. Let's go.
And absolutely hammers it. Added a 100-yard single he had as well last week. As the coverage unit down on Khalil Pimpleton. Flags come out behind the play, and he'll be escorted out of bounds that time. Jake Kelly closest on the play for Winnipeg, but flags will likely back up Ottawa once again. They got to put together a drive here.
I think this is going to take this return off the board.
So Rick Campbell talking it over there on the sidelines, working alongside Bob Dice, covering special teams. We will clean it up on the other side as Bob Dice communicates with the officials. And Ottawa, an important drive here to get things going with 10:17 remaining in the second quarter. plenty of love to go around in this Ottawa Redblacks offense after adding the star power of Gino Lewis, maybe stretching the defense a little bit and trying to get it into the hands of Justin Hardy and Braylon Addison.
Yeah, that, and then you combine that with the secondary that the Bombers are fielding tonight due to injury. Dexter Lawson is a young guy, very few starts. Trey Babel on the corner, getting a start tonight at defensive back, not just a returner.
Take a stretch run here. Brown turned around and had a face full of Bombers. He might have had the back door there to Keelan White. Were they trying to sneak him out the back door, I wonder, but didn't have any time to be able to get it away after the pressure was on immediately. They cooked something up there during the timeout.
Well, yeah, this is exactly how you help young corners. You send blitz, you be aggressive. It's easier, so they stop thinking to just play man-to-man and force Drew Brown to throw it quickly when he doesn't want to throw it. He just threw that away.
He was looking at Keelan White on the backside if he had time, but the clock was up. This time he looks over the top into the defense, and it is pass interference. Bang, bang play, but for the second time, it's Agent Zero on his fellow circled compadre, Cam Allen.
Pass interference, Winnipeg 0. Automatic first down.
This zone drop turns into man because the receiver's in his zone. Allen plays the ball. Contact is made, but it looked clean. Well, he bumped him a bit early, but he's up there playing the ball. The defensive back has the right to play the ball as well. He can't go through the receiver to do it. Well, I guess they thought it was enough contact.
Set up the screen here for Addison as he tries to cut back. Wrapped up and brought down. Tony Jones is absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, this is what I mean about Tony Jones. I mean, he's just settling in nicely. Remember, he's replacing Adam Bighill in the middle and the great legacy that he left here in Winnipeg. Watch how he steps up. He's reading. He's dropping his pass route first. He sees the screen and reads it. Beats the block by the offensive lineman and gets in.
27 first downs last week for the Ottawa Redblacks against Toronto. Winnipeg gives up the fewest allowed of any defense in 2025. This one's a toughie. 2nd and 12. Pressure on. Willie Jefferson almost got home. It is complete. And it will be shy of the sticks. As once again, it's Cam Allen and Braylon Addison.
I think if you're Bob Dyce, you got to take the points here. I know it's tempting down 17, but that's 3rd and a long 2.
And Mike O'Shea just had a quick word with Cam Allen about getting up into the face of Braylon Addison, saying, hey, you would have cost us an unsportsmanlike penalty. That's a free first down after you made the play. So Lewis Ward wanders out, 21-27 on the year.
He might have also said, I didn't think it was pass interference either.
This distance, he's 8 of 12 on the season. Make it 9 of 13. Lewis Ward on the money. Zach Collaros. The stellar record of Zach Collaros here at home, 30-6. You talk about the 70% club right now of guys around. How about Zach doing it for years here at home? 72% playing in his home field.
Well, again, no coincidence that 19 was his first Blue Bomber experience. They get to the Grey Cup and have not looked back since. So there's their cornerstone on offense, Willie Jefferson on defense.
Collaros also 4-0 at home in West Finals, and they'd love to play it here with a Grey Cup coming to this turf November 16th, as that one falls incomplete to the turf. Kevin Sklercius, who was the leading receiver, who actually plays receiver for Winnipeg last week, 32 yards in behind Brady Oliveira's monster receiving effort.
Crazy. Don't see that very often. Brady Oliveira can catch it out of the backfield, and it's a good matchup. In fact, you know, against Calgary, the running backs have got more involved in the passing game, and so there's a strategy there against that particular defense. But
Zach looks downfield, now takes the flats, goes right back to Claricius, who tries to earn it the hard way. And can't get it done rallying up with C.J. Colden and DeAndre Lamont. And the punting unit comes out for Winnipeg. Set to kick it away. Lil Pimpleton back, 15.2 punt return average is second only to Isaiah Wooden of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Pimpleton last week crossing the 1,000-yard mark when it comes to combined yardage. They'll try to add some onto it here. Does just across the 20. Downfield making the tackle. There's Ayers as well as the big touchdown last week. Justin Hardy making the play and showing a little bit of emotion as well as Drew Brown drifted his eyes to the right, put it in the right spot. Never seen him like that before. Britt Dort has more for us.
Yeah, Marshall, apparently that's the most emotion that you'll ever see out of Justin Hardy. He's been deemed basically the unselfish superstar. Both Bob Dice and Drew Brown described him the same. They said he's low maintenance, and he's one of the most even-keel professional football players you'll ever meet. I asked him about that touchdown, and I feel like he gave me the same response he would have given after that big catch in the first quarter. He said, I don't get myself too high or too low, and he also said, I remain even-keel with everything I do.
And Brett, we were all saying, well, maybe that's why you get along so well with Drew Brown. Maybe that's why this thing works, as Daniel Adeboboye gets pushed out of bounds. But they are just on the same page. And you think back to the way that, well, he doesn't show much emotion. He's kind of low-key. And then all of a sudden, first quarter right here tonight.
Well, he's going to work. You know, and his work is usually the middle of the field. But that was the big catch he made to get things started. Now, that drive ended in a goal line stand by the Bombers, but just a workhorse. They haven't got him in behind coverage on a deep ball just yet. That's still to come.
Brown gets into it here on 2nd and 6. Brown looks to his right, over the top, up and it's picked off. Evan Holm running it back for the Bombers. As Holm gets his 3rd of the season.
I think the intended target was Justin Hardy. He's going down the sideline, straight go route. Now he is looking for over top coverage. And Evan Holm is over the top, playing the football, and the throwing motion from Drew Brown needs a little help from Evan Hardy there, who ran right by it. I think that Hardy even saw Holm coming.
Pretty amazing that a defense for Winnipeg that only has 6 interceptions on the year due to injuries with Parker and Bridges out. There's actually only 3 interceptions active tonight. Tony Jones has 1. Evan Holm had 2 coming in. Make it 4. As Holm has his 3rd. A runaway lead for the Winnipeg defense when it comes to interceptions on the season. At this point, Collaros checking this one down underneath. Javon Santos knocks right there on Kevin Sklercius.
Collaros had a real heated, quick discussion with the referee back there.
Snapped his head around after the throw was out.
Really did, as if maybe his receivers were getting a little rough ride down the field.
Resets, goes with the quick snap at the line, fakes to Oliveira, and throws this one underneath. That was into traffic. Joey Corcoran suits us running into the flats, and somewhere hiding in behind was number 10 Nick Dembski.
Yeah, that's a mistake. And you know, I'm not sure which one made the mistake, but you know, Marcy, you're not going to put 2 receivers right next to each other. You want to use the entire field, spread things out, and make the defenders make a choice. But that you never see. That's a mistake by one of the 2. I would guess it's not Dembski.
Priester on the fly could have had a walk-in 70-yard pick 6, but it falls incomplete, and now from 39 yards away, Sergio Castillo looks to add on to his stellar season and knocks this one through. Get ready for the WNBA Canada game in Vancouver. It's the first ever regular season matchup outside of the U.S. Catch the Storm take on the Dream tomorrow at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN.
Sudden change there, and I know there's 3 points for the Bombers, but sudden change for that Red-Black defense. Important. That's a win for them. After the interception, all the momentum is with the team that created the turnover. They go in and score, and it looks like a much deeper hole, but that Ottawa defense held them to 3.
See if Drew Brown can get his rhythm back. No interceptions last week. Got one here to home just a minute ago. Is this one on the fly right in front of Evan Holm is complete. Braylon Addison throws the anchors on, turns around, and the football is on point.
Yeah, and you know, in this one, Drew Brown is going to throw Addison open here. He's going to just run this deep curl, come back, and you see where he threw it. He threw it so it made Addison take 2 steps back toward the line.
Ottawa with a double tight end set effectively here. Williams stand back in the game. Winnipeg responds by loading the line of scrimmage. They'll try to run right into it, and the Bombers respond.
I know he's not a runner, but Drew Brown may have to pull the ball a couple of times to make the Bomber defense honor that he might do it. I mean, those are the sort of RPO type plays, those run pass option type plays where the quarterback has the choice after the snap to either give it or take it outside, and Drew Brown hasn't pulled it yet.
Ottawa's offense averaging just 5.8 yards on first down. That's last in the Canadian Football League. In tough here again on 2nd and 10. Brown loads it up. Pimpleton down the seam, and good battle back and forth. No flags down. As we've hit the 3-minute warning. Drew Brown on a difficult down and distance sends it to the sky. Tripping up on Trey Vavel was Pimpleton, incomplete.
So sick of being the shortest person on the set. I've had enough.
You're not even in the camera anymore.
Enoch, we promise we'll be back for halftime. We'll talk all about the Bombers and their hot start. Plus, we'll look ahead to the big game between the Riders and the Ticats on Saturday.
Way to go, Laura. Don't put up with that. Get as high a chair as you want. Ottawa gets set to send this one away. The 3-minute warning again. Protection a little dicey, and Leone just has to hammer it. The waiting arms of Trey Vavel catches it at the 10. Nice jump cut. And he'll give a return of about 14 yards that time. Looked like there was a whole lot of nothing, but Zach Collaros, you know, Suits would love to dial up something here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, well, he's got lots of time to do it. The second quarter, a little bit less Brady Oliveira as well.
Collaros averaging 8.3 yards of completion this season, his lowest since coming to the Bombers in 2019. But picking and choosing, figuring out where he wants to put the football. Incomplete, intended for Dembski at the end of the last drive. And a touchdown drive here would be full value from just inside his own 25-yard line. Pickett shows blitz, comes off the edge. They'll run away from it. Brady Oliveira gets turned back inside. Redblacks run defense does its job on first down.
One of the things about Brady Oliveira that hasn't been talked about much, I mentioned it in the last game, but he had a shoulder injury in game 1, in series 1 as a matter of fact, when the Bombers took on the Lions, and has been playing with it, missed a couple of games and then played with the injury. And his shoulder is tough for a running back because subconsciously you're going to try to protect it, which takes you out of your natural rhythm to make those cuts off the defenders.
Second down and 10. Collaros rolls to his right-hand side. Pressure is on, and will flip this one up in the air. Incomplete in the area of Kevin Sklercius, but it looks like he was trying to just flip it out of bounds with the pass rush hot on his heels.
Just think of that, Marsh. Like we've seen now both Drew Brown and Zach Collaros do that 3 or 4 times in this game. And we showed you the completion percentage that these quarterbacks are working on. Those incompletions were deliberate.
Yeah.
the 3 or 4 here that we've seen already in this first half, deliberate, just throwing it away to save the loss.
One of my favorite statistics is adjusted completion percentage. When you get rid of you know, the tip at the line of scrimmage and the throwaways, and you go, is it 90%?
Yeah.
It's Pimpleton trying to track this one down, and Sheehan heads it towards the sideline as Drew Brown heads back out onto the field.
Lots of time.
Yeah.
Lots of time, especially, you know, field goal range for sure. Haven't seen Geno Lewis in this first half.
Yeah, just got the one little in-breaking route to him, but the gravitational pull of the Ottawa offense has been towards the smaller guys. It's Hardy and Addison at this point.
Well, and yeah, I'm wondering because Geno would be matched up at least on the snap with Pavel.
Dietrich Nichols signaling the defense right now as he lines up across from 87. Redblacks guard. All running vertical and over the middle, throwing at nobody is Drew Brown. Miscommunication that time.
Yeah, it looked like Drew Brown thought Justin Hardy was going to run a dig route and end up here, and what Hardy did was go here. He was throwing it to a spot. Thought Hardy was going to get into that open area in the middle, and see Hardy just flash there to the left of your screen.
So again, no gain on first down. Sets the Ottawa offense into a difficult spot as Addison splits out wide late. Uses the waggle. Brown looks underneath on the crossing route, forces it into traffic, and should have been intercepted. He had an under, he had an over, and it ends up on the turf.
Take a look at the defenders that are going to start to accumulate in this area and exactly where Drew Brown wants to throw it. I mean, this is a combination route, so you've got your under route with your over the top and a post behind it by Geno Lewis. But there were 3 defenders on 87 in the middle.
Geno ate a little bit of Bomber's shoulder pad as well after the incompletion. Back and forth possession goes here at the end of the first half, and Trey Babel pushed out of bounds. Nice coverage by the defensive lineman Aiden John down the field that time.
Yeah, we've seen both offenses with an opportunity to get some points, some more points before the half. Both failed, and now Zach gets another chance. That's the timing of the final 3 minutes in the half and the final 3 minutes of a CFL game.
Stanley Bryant back in the lineup. Last couple of games. There's the big man, the veteran at left tackle, 15 years. I asked Zach Collaros a couple of weeks ago when I was here about what gives you such confidence to play so well at home. It seems like Stanley.
Another cornerstone guy.
Yeah. Oliveira in between the tackles, heads downhill, and takes a couple of pops on that shoulder. You talked about that, Suits. I was looking at today, the longest run of the season for Brady Oliveira is 43 yards. And immediately I went, wasn't that it? Like his first carry of the season before he got injured? And it was the second carry of the season back in week 2 against the BC Lions here.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he said to us that he's getting closer to normal. It's getting there, but you know, and I could tell the Bombers did a real good job of keeping that a complete secret. But at one point I saw on his sleeve that he had to see the tape under the shoulder. That's white tape taping up the shoulder on that left side.
Kind of disappeared from that game in week 2 as well, quietly, as Matthew Peterson came in, as this one's complete underneath, and it's Wheatfall. Great completion to move the sticks. Winnipeg goes back to the line quickly. Clock rolls inside a minute remaining in the first half as they lead 20-3. Pressure on. Zach somehow gets away, and looks for someone deep in the bench. Looks like Connor Shea, their first-round pick, might have caught that one in the Bombers bench.
Yeah, that's another throwaway. But there you see on the right shoulder, that's the tape that's underneath, supporting the right shoulder. And when I saw that about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it didn't feel like it was the Brady we're used to seeing. That's the MOP of the league.
It's interesting he goes with that and not the big bulky brace. He probably just wants to have the mobility to move and catch.
And how would it affect him in pass pro is another tough one. You got to get your hands up.
Receivers out for Collaros. They'll screen it underneath. Brady with space. Chris Kolinkowski gets a shove in the back. Gets a block. And the leading receiver for Winnipeg on the road in Calgary is flying here at home.
How about Kolinkowski, the center, coming out and leading the way, and then Brady Oliveira just saying, "Hey, just keep her going. Keep her going. We're out in front. I'm gonna you be the escort down the field." Little bit of a nudge there.
Collaros trying to screen it back to Oliveira once again. Yeah, sometimes the speed to distance ratio is just a little off. And Kolinkowski doing the old eyes over the shoulder, and he's no forwards.
Well, and you know, Oliveira is one of the best at being patient behind those blocks.
30 seconds remaining. Clock rolls. Flags come up.
Procedure. Winnipeg number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Kolinkowski just moved the ball before the snap.
Santos Knox having a conversation with the Winnipeg offensive line as Kolinkowski trying to catch his breath from that wind sprint down the field on the screen. As Collaros over 200 yards here in the first half. Evan Holm with an interception. Jarrell Stearns with a big touchdown grab. Sergio Castillo's been money. A 17-point advantage. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Collaros with a clean pocket and throws this one up for grabs, intercepted. And CJ Colden digs it out from the turf. So a threatening drive that certainly looked like it would at least end with a Castillo triple will be scoreless.
Yeah, a couple of missed opportunities by both teams now. 2 drives, potential for points before the half to add to the lead for the Bombers. Taken away, that's 3 points. Taking a look at that catch, make sure the hands are underneath, and they are. Nice pick. His 3rd of the season.
Now the team leader in interceptions as Mike O'Shea thought about throwing the challenge flag. I'm not sure the risk reward valuable there. Not much that can be earned back from incompletion aside from perhaps those 3 points at the end of the half. Silent count once again for the Redblacks as Brown throws this one to Gino Lewis, and the catch radius on full display.
Yeah, and you know, that was against Trey Babel, and I'm not suggesting that Trey Babel can't play corner. I mean, he played corner in college. Senior year, a couple picks, 52 defensive tackles. He can play corner, but he's new to this game.
Winnipeg sends the house. They'll just throw it up for Gino once again. He had one-on-one, and I think Drew wanted him to go and take advantage of that height advantage.
Yep.
Over Trey Babel, but Gino read it differently.
Late in the first half, but finally going to that matchup that I thought that Drew Brown might want to test. Now, you know, the read and your play, the read will take you to where it's supposed to take you for a quarterback. But now the Bombers will drop way off, not give up anything behind them.
Lewis lines up as the lone receiver to the top of your screen. Go back the other direction. Keelan White, the rookie, makes the grab and stops shy of the 55 as time expires. Ottawa gets their choice after deferring to begin the football game. Winnipeg took the rock to get things going and found a way to get themselves a 17-point advantage as Bob Dice and the Redblacks have to sort this one out and fight their way back in just like they did against Toronto last week. And Evan Holm with the big interception off of Drew Brown here at the end of the first, looking down the seam for Justin Hardy, but Holm with his 3rd interception of the season.
He's playing center field in that outside 3rd in the zone. Nice interception.
And the 4th man from North Dakota is with Britdorf.
Evan, while your defense opened the game with a massive stop, then you followed things up with an interception yourself. What are you liking about the play from this group so far?
Yeah, we're clean on our communication. We'd been, it was a short week, so we didn't get a lot of reps, so we try to get in there mentally. Dex, Spook, Cam, everybody read. We're just having good communication out there. We're seeing it the same, which is really important. In the past, we have getting up big plays in the first half, so it's pretty clean, and I like that.
Well, no lead is ever safe in the CFL, so how do you hold on to this one?
Yes, keep emphasizing communication. No lead is too big in the CFL, so just having clean communication. That's it.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, Laura, we'll see. Can Ottawa make another comeback?
Yeah, maybe Ottawa has them right where they want them, but for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it seems like they are learning their lessons from what happened last week against the Stamps. They were outscored 12-4 in the second half, but out to the 17-point lead here as you are back once again. We got the whole crew here. You missed my towering shot over
there. Yeah, you were pretty tall.
I'm back to where.
Where were you? Where were you? I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
I'm out of the bathroom for a long time.
I had to get a drink of water.
Let's move on.
Let's talk about these Winnipeg receivers, because you were impressed with their play in that first half.
Yeah, very impressed. And coming into this game, Winnipeg Blue Bombers had the worst pass offense in the league. And when your offense is that bad, passing the ball, it's just not on the quarterback. It's on the receivers, it's on the offensive line, it's on offensive coordinator. But this first half, they've really stepped up. Receivers, they've made some tough catches. And when you're a professional football player, professional receiver, you're expected to make some of these catches. And early on in the year, these guys weren't making them. But you can see them making it in the first half. We saw Dembski, we saw Wheatfall, we see Stearns right here over the party starter. He's basically saying party is over right there. Great catch by Stearns and Wheatfall again. So you got to make these tough catches, especially when your team is struggling as offense. You got to make these tough catches. So good for them, but as you mentioned, the first half, they did the same thing last week, and we saw what happened in the second half. So they got to come out and continue this, because we know these Ottawa Redblacks can steal scores from teams.
Listen, they're bringing a lot of intensity as well, a lot of fire to that defense as well. Drew Brown has not been comfortable. You saw it all half. He's been running around all over the place and trying to find his receivers, and it's been hard. But look at the goal line right here. Tony Jones, 2 hands on Daniel Adeboboye, and still finds a way. He shows his strength and gets to the ball. And then he continues. Again, we talked about Drew Brown getting out of the pocket, trying to find his receivers. It's been tough on him all night tonight. No real sacks, but he can't find his receivers. Tony Jones, we talked about his strength. Look at him here. Smart. I can smell the screen coming, and he's there. Right here, Drew Brown got a little too anxious. It was a 3-on-2. Never should have thrown this ball. He sees Hardy there, and it's a stop and go. One of the favorite throws that receivers like to, quarterbacks like to throw. And Justin Hardy thinks he's open, because you see a defender right there. He falls for it, but he doesn't, because there's a deep defender as well for it. Evan Holm is right there waiting for the ball. Great defensive call for the perfect play, and they made the play. Again, the momentum is going to Ottawa just like last week. Can the Winnipeg Blue Bombers hold on is going to be the question for the second half.
Yeah, that momentum started with Tony Jones in the goal line stand. Didn't you feel like that got all the energy in that stadium? Because they went down. It was more of the same as last week for Ottawa. Went down the first drive, marched down the field, 8-play drive. They're going to score. More of the same defensively for the Bombers, not getting stops, and all of a sudden they get that huge stop, all the momentum. And you said it, the way Drew was playing. I want to see this play, Dembski. Talk about Dembski and he's not a speed guy anymore. They say, he's a possession guy, he's a gadget guy. I ain't buying it. And people in the league say, with pads on, Dembski's fast. Dembski carries his pads well. He pulled away there and showed some speed. So impressive from the veteran that still has some speed. But I just want to say that the early stop, I think, got all the momentum. It was a big difference in this. You saw, to your point, the receivers making plays, the crowd got behind them. Right. And these young DBs we talked about, would they hold up? Yep. They've got nothing behind them, and that's a lot that's playing complementary football. The D-line for Winnipeg has gotten there, gotten pressure on Drew. The DBs have now felt comfortable, and that's been the whole story in this first half.
We were wondering if the home cooking would make a difference for Winnipeg so far.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Ottawa head coach Bob Dice certainly knows his team is in tough. He's seen them do it before, though. He's field level with Britt Dorff.
Bob, not the position you want to be in, but you've seen your team do it before. How do you spark the comeback?
Well, you got to start 1 play at a time, Britt. It's just that simple. What are 17 points? You just got to lock in and take care of your business. Each play, 1 play at a time, and stack plays on top of each other.
Does it feel like it's more of what Winnipeg is doing or what you're not doing?
No, I think it's a little bit of a combination, you know, but we aren't playing football the way we know we can play football. And at the end of the day, we got to control what we can control, and that's how we play.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Drew Brown, last week, 6 of 8 on attempts of 20-plus yards down the field for 116 yards and 4 of his 5 touchdowns. Suits is going to have to dip back into the vertical passing attack, likely, if they don't start piecing together some short drives quickly.
Yeah, Coach Dice saying we've got to take care of what we can control, which is our own game. Very stoic. And his quarterback is just that.
Yeah. Organization as a whole believes in the group that they have, led by Drew Brown, as a flag comes up, likely offside against the Bombers to begin the second half. And Khalil Pimpleton charges his way out beyond the 30.
I think if they're offside, they may make him kick it again. Let's take a look. But there's the numbers in the first half for Drew Brown.
Offside. Winnipeg 16. It's 5-yard penalty. Free kick.
They're going to kick it over.
It is, yeah. Absolutely. Mike Miller, special teams coordinator, shaking his head as Mike O'Shea trying to make sure they avoid disaster and give momentum right out of the starting gate to Ottawa here to open things up.
Well, and as the panel mentioned, give them some momentum just before the end of the half with the interception. Now they have to re-kick. Cover team has to go and regroup, catch their breath, and run the 50 yards or so down and make a tackle a second time.
Greta Cramby talking it over on the sidelines there with Mike Miller, Mike O'Shea, and then Chris Ike will head back out as one of the special teams demons for Winnipeg playing here at home. High energy, another sellout crowd. Fantastic environment at halftime as well. They're hoping their Bombers can close the door on Ottawa. Castillo leans into it. Drives the football down inside the 15-yard line. Trying to follow Daniel Adamaboye, who was the off returner. Drew Brown essentially gets to the same spot on the field here to get things going.
Yeah, the penalty didn't hurt Winnipeg. That's, you know, another thing that the Bombers do very well is they stay away from penalties. Often the #1 team in the league in the fewest penalties. And they win the giveaway takeaway. That's been an issue for the Bombers this year.
Minus 11 coming into this one. Interception late in the first half there from Zach Collaros. Didn't hurt them, but rare to see as they begin again with that inside handoff on first down. And Drew Brown's going to have 2nd and long immediately, just like he did in the first half.
Yeah, he's still, you know, on the RPO plays. I'm watching the front 7 for the Bombers. They are not respecting the quarterback outside at all. Going right to the tailback on those first down RPO plays.
Plenty of movement in that defensive front. Brown says to keep the play on. Time to go to work. Brown fading to his left, gets hit, but completes. What a beautiful throw. It was a chuck and duck for a second. Suits I was just trying to get rid of it, but what a gorgeous throw.
Tony Jones is coming on a bit of a stunt here from the linebacking core, and he's going to try and come and give pressure on Drew Brown, but William Stanback is going to step in, playing that tailback spot. He makes a key block, so there's no edge pressure, and that gave Drew Brown an extra second.
Willie Jefferson told us this week he wants to make sure William Stanback can't get his momentum going downhill. We can stop him before the wheels start turning, we're good. This time Stanback will pass protect. They'll flip it out to the flats. Dallin Aston makes the first man miss, and then the cavalry arrives. Playing off the run game, finding a way to get a decent gain on first down.
Justin Hardy is having a conversation with Greta Cramby. Tommy Condell trying to get the ball out of Drew Brown's hands a little bit quicker on that outside bubble screen.
Plenty of communication from Stanback and Brown as well in the backfield, talking through which side you're supposed to be on. Where's the fake? Brown was confused if the play was whistled in for a second there as well. Operation a little bit clunky here for the Redblacks, despite the fact they're moving the football.
That's crowd noise effect.
back, does go downhill, lowers the shoulder, runs through 3 different Bombers for a first down.
Comes into the league 4th in the CFL rushing the football, is almost 50 less carries than the leaders, though, because Adeboboye's got some touches in the backfield, and at times, as we've seen, Ottawa's had to come from behind.
Redblacks lost 4 games in a row, and then they've won 2 in a row. Over those 2 victories, William Stanback, 30 carries. He's been part of the success that they found, even when having to throw to get back into games. Let's see if they go back to him here. They do. Bouncing off the first tackler, puts his head down and gets all the way to the 30. Should have been tackled after a gain of 1, maybe 2.
Watch the commitment to the tailback on this RPO play. The commitment to the tailback is to crash down. If Drew Brown wants to make the ends respective, he's got to pull this at least once. Everybody's coming down. If he comes outside, he's got lots of time. But they won't respect it up front until he does it at least once.
Extra bodies into the ball game here. Ottawa goes heavy as they hand it off. Stanback once again, and this time, little stutter step. Couldn't get running fully downhill. It feels like when Ottawa spreads things out and runs with Stanback, they have success. As soon as they go heavy and try to intimidate Winnipeg's front, they just run into a wall. It's a tough mismatch.
Yeah, and they're again, if they go to the heavy set where they're running between the tackles and Drew pulls it once, gets outside and throws it to Gino over here in a one-on-one, then the Bombers go, okay, now we got to play it straight.
Change of personnel for both sides. Dustin Crum comes in, and many of the defensive backs head off the field for a little bit of extra weight on the inside of the tackles. Crum got stacked up twice in the first quarter, down on the goal line. Here he goes on 3rd and 1, takes the snap, and didn't get much of a push. We'll see where they spot it, but it looks like it is a first down.
Well, he needed it all there. They just maybe an inch or 2, but officials didn't hesitate. He got pushed back, but that forward momentum by Crum got him there.
You can see Drew Brown trying to steady the huddle, get everybody on the same page. He just ran onto the field and said, get over here. We got to get a play called. And now the ageless one, Jake Thomas, goes for a jog into the backfield, but was he drawn?
Procedure. Ottawa number 65.
Yeah, the
5-yard penalty.
Sellout here at this stadium. Another one is making it very difficult on this offense to communicate. Crowd noise causing a problem. Bladick thought that he heard Drew Brown calling the signals. It wasn't Brown. It's tough to communicate when you can't hear each other.
Not sure any barn in the entire CFL does Thursday night like Winnipeg. Go to work the next day? Who cares? Time to lose my voice as Brown up against it, rolls to his left. Thomas gives chase. Brown buys time, cuts back to his right. In the middle of the field, and did Hardy reach forward for the first down?
Did he make the catch first? Talking about being stoic and Drew Brown just being patient here. Looked like he was going to maybe run out of bounds and then said, no, I'll just slide back into the middle. Did he catch it? Let's take another look. They're out of the ball quickly here. Well, I don't know. It didn't look like he did.
I'll say incomplete.
Yeah.
2nd down and 15. Brown working against the noise. On Stanback to switch over. Barely on the line was Gino Lewis, allowing them to throw this very close once again to the first down marker for Khalil Pimpleton. That is a wild throw under the circumstances for Drew Brown.
Yeah, we've seen him do this a couple of times. One to Braylon Addison in the first half where he's running this curl and he's drawing his receiver back to him. because he sees where the pressure's coming. It's coming from Evan Holm in behind him.
Brown stays in the ball game. Not going with Dustin Crum. He had the full yard. Looks like William Stanback pushing his way through as the former Bomber continues the drive. And they are piecing it together right now. Time of possession. We've crossed inside 8 minutes here in this third quarter, so a 7-minute drive. But can they finish with a major? That's been the struggle when they get deep inside scoring territory. Coming into tonight, Drew Brown, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions when he's down inside the 20, looking deep into the end zone, and William Stanback kind of sneaked the big man out of the backfield, incomplete.
Yeah, he comes out of the backfield in the cadence here, and then he's going to go right down the numbers. Reddick Cramdy, though, is in great position. Drew Brown sees this. He sees Cramdy. If he throws it and tries to get it on that inside shoulder to Stanback, that's a pick. So he leads him to the outside shoulder. If he makes a miraculous catch, great. If not, they don't throw the pick.
Confusion on the Winnipeg sideline here with substitutions as Jay Person was coming off. So was Tony Jones, but then Jones heads back onto the field. He's just trying to put his mouth guard in and find somewhere to line up. A lot of walking around defenders for Brown to decipher here, and they don't know how to protect it. Brown backpedaling and then steps forward. Somehow gets away. On 2nd and 10, he'll backhand shovel it for the first down to William Stanback. Magic from Brown.
Drew Brown. I can't believe it either. And this crowd is silenced. How did he escape this? Kyrie Wilson is free. And then ducks between both of them. I think that was Willie Jefferson on the outside. And then the underhand throw as he's going down to his tailback.
You know where he learned that?
Wow.
Zach Delaros.
Like,
how many times have we seen Zach?
I mean, and for William Stanback to figure this out and get over there to present a target. Well, you and I both saw the same thing. When Drew Brown got up initially, he walked it off, was walking back. We go to replay to show the magic, and it looked like he was fine. And then halfway through this walk back to the huddle, something didn't feel right, and he went back down. Training staff came out.
Dustin Crum is in the ball game at quarterback for Drew Brown. As Crum takes the run and then will take off. And the dual threat ability of Dustin Crum, one snap, one score, uses his legs. An obvious concern for Drew Brown on the sideline, but a touchdown for the first time here tonight for the Redblacks certainly helps.
Well, and he will take advantage of what we've been talking about with Drew Brown, pulling it once. This time it's the same setup, same play, and he does pull it. And you can see the space that he has around the edge.
The eyes of Evan Holm almost get trained that he's used to dealing with Drew Brown, and he starts running with all the routes, and all of a sudden Dustin Crum is in the end zone after an 8-minute touchdown drive here in the third quarter. Lewis Ward ready to knock through point number 10. He does, and the Redblacks, they have some life. First matchup this year. They split 2024 in weeks 2 and 5. These two teams haven't played in 405 days. We'll see how this one plays out. on the network as Winnipeg with a 20-3 lead to open up the second half. An 8-minute touchdown drive for the Ottawa Redblacks, and it's a 10-point ball game right now. Zach Collaros, first touch of the second half, and immediately dodging pressure and gets away, and somehow Zach, who's only run 6 times this year, goes for a little jaunt and picks up some yardage with his feet.
Well, he did that same play action fake to Brady Oliveira, but when Zach does it, he's looking to throw. He looks to get outside and get some time to throw, and that quick pressure changed that thought in a hurry. He had to get what he could.
As Drew Brown currently in the tent and being looked at on defense for the Ottawa Redblacks. Bennett Williams, who was a game time decision with a hamstring, is actually out now with the hamstring. So a little bit of shuffling on the back end for Ottawa against Brady Oliveira, who tries to get the first down on the ground and gets stacked up inside. And immediately the punting unit is off the sideline, not nearly close enough to send out Chris Strebler.
Well, let's see, A gap, B gap. Let's see if there's any room to run in the A gap or the B gap. This is actually week A to week B to nope, nothing. Gaps canceled.
How about Eden John blowing up the pulling guard coming over? My goodness. He is having a night. Had some great plays on special teams and getting plenty of reps on defense as well. As Khalil Pimpleton catches this one right next to the sideline and patiently waits. And it pops out of bounds. Dustin Crum has the controls of the Ottawa offense tonight under the lights. Thursday night football in Winnipeg. Of tough spots, but just the one touchdown with his arm. It's his legs that really open up the game plan, though, in his time in relief here in Ottawa.
Well, the one thing you know with Dustin Crum is that the defensive line, including Willie Jefferson up front for the Bombers, are now going to have to stay wider, not commit as quickly to William Stanback. So logically, that would mean that Stanback might have some bigger gaps to run through between the tackles. And that's where Tony Jones comes in to the chess match.
There is Drew Brown on the sideline as he continues to get looked at. It doesn't seem like there's any rush to grab his helmet. And now on the field is no motion. Khalil Pimpleton into the backfield. Now back outside for a quick screen. And back to the sideline, pushed out of bounds, but it's another first down. And no helmet there for Drew Brown on the sideline. And I don't think we need an update from the Redblacks. That looks like he's done for the evening.
Yeah. Maybe trying to walk it off, but that leg looks like it's stiffening up pretty good on him.
Well, Tommy Condell, offensive coordinator, just to dip into his Dan Lefevre bag of tricks here and try and find some successful plays for Dustin Crum. That one won't help. It was on the money, dropped by Khalil Pimpleton.
Yeah, when you get your backup quarterback in there, then Milt Stegall will tell you that the receivers got to take it up a notch. They can't have those drops on first down, even if it's 7 or 6 yards. Just opens the playbook to have that second and short yardage, and that'll eliminate those drops.
Rotating defensive linemen more frequently as well here with Crum in the ball game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Trying to keep everybody fresh as this time they'll blitz the house. Knocked down! Well, we're used to Willie Jefferson and his 7'4" wingspan, but Jake Thomas gets out the Willie celebration.
Well, you can see it was full pressure. Kyrie Wilson's going. He's going to go on the blitz. So is Tony Jones. They're trying to fill all the gaps and make Dustin Crum make a quick decision. And I think that was Big Jake Thomas doing the Willie Jefferson banjo playing after the knockdown.
I think Willie might have had it if Jake missed it, though.
Yeah, he was right in the line, wasn't he?
Almost blocked again. Leone gets away. Trey Vavel crosses the 40, cuts back, has some breathing room. Marco Dubois shuts the door, not fooled whatsoever.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of the spark out of you when you're returning and playing defense or offense. I think when returners are at their best is when they're just returning. And I know it's tempting, especially when you have great athletes on the return game, to try and see if you can use them offensively. Javon Leet comes to mind in Edmonton.
The Ottawa Redblacks, they're telling us right now via Britt Dort on the sideline that Drew is not officially out. They're just waiting and continuing to observe as Winnipeg flips this one out to the flats. Kevin Sklercius makes the grab for a minimal gain, second down.
This little rotation of the defense there brought the backup safety in Justin Howell down, and he made a nice play on that quick outside throw.
They've gone through some bodies in the Redblacks free safety spot. They had Alonzo Adai, he's off right now. Justin Howell's been banged up at times the last couple of years. Ty Cranston was in the lineup last year, no longer. Bringing Bennett Williams, and just a rotating door at this point, but trying to find a way to get a stop here on 2nd and 8. Polaros fades this one up into the lights. It's up for grabs and incomplete. As Wheatfall in a battle there one-on-one with Gavin Heslop.
That's exactly what it was, a one-on-one, and with a couple of really tough catches in the first half, Zach Collaros has no hesitation to go to this matchup. He can't cover it any better. And Heslop is patient, looking through the receiver, back towards the football, and throws that left hand up when Wheatfall tries to reach for it.
Bombers with 2 and outs on 5 of their last 6 drives, going back to the second quarter as well. As Heslop, 2 years spent with the Seattle Seahawks as an undrafted free agent, hops up north in his first career start, makes the play. This one gets touched by Pimpleton, and he's run into. And Sloppy on special teams that time. Backing up Dustin Crum as Tanner Cadwallader downfield makes the special teams play.
Jamison Sheehan punted that away from Pimpleton there. He had been playing the same direction every single punt, and this time he just sidewinded it to the wide field. Now that can put your cover team in a bind, but Pimpleton took too long to get there, and then he kicked it around a little bit, fumbled it. Lucky just to hang on.
William Stanback season high in rushes, yards in the win over Toronto. 5,200 career rushing yards. We'll see if they go to him here. They do to start off the drive as Braylon Addison gets just enough to seal the edge, and Stanback once again downhill.
So we've seen the defensive ends when Drew Brown was in and he didn't pull it go this way. Now watch the difference with Willie Jefferson going up the field to respect that Crum might pull it. He goes up the field. That opens up the run lane inside for Stanback.
Redblacks fighting against the crowd noise, sorting out protection. As Crum gets hit, held on to it as long as he could, and finally hits the deck. Tanner Schmeckel.
In the rotation, right in that strong A gap to the field. Schmeckel's right here in the 4-point stance. Little swim move at the line of scrimmage, gets active hands, and just works his way back to Dustin Crum. Had to fight through a double team really there.
Third-year man out of the University of Regina Rams program. Makes the play. Now Trey Vavell crosses midfield. Massive collision. Ende Ellie right there in coverage. CFL returns with Friday Night Football action as the Argonauts take on the Elks. See if Toronto can bounce back from their collapse. And then we'll be able to see all the action at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on TSN. The Edmonton victory on the road in Montreal. As Keon Julian Grant got a pair of touchdowns.
Great comeback game for him in Montreal. Outstanding after the drop in Hamilton. And boy, I was happy for Cody Fajardo, just because he's a guy that's easy to like. Looks like Vavell's a little shaken up after that hit. Both players.
As Justin Howell off to the sideline. Also Trey Vavell looks like he's trying to catch his breath from the big hit that was delivered on the end of that return. A couple of slaps on the back and gasping for some oxygen. back to work he'll go. You mentioned defense and special teams. He's putting in full work here tonight, but with Justin Howell down and Bennett Williams down, there's going to be some serious moving of parts around the back end for the Ottawa Redblacks on defense. And it looks like they might have King Ambers playing at the field halfback spot right now. 8th round pick from the draft this year. He will line up there. He's the last healthy defensive back they've dressed here tonight. Over the top, Garrett Wheatfall running right into the waiting hands. At the end of the play of King Ambers, you see him, number 27 right there, as Wheatfall loses his bucket, makes the big grab over the middle.
Yeah, they moved DeAndre Lamont to the safety spot and put King Ambers out at the wide corner, and he's actually the guy that's going to make the tackle here. Lamont playing a little bit deep from the safety spot, and there's 27 stepping in and making that hit.
Davian Taylor, the one that forced the helmet off of Wheatfall, but 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Laros against some pressure, gets it away to the outside. Dembski bounces off 1 tackler, 2, 3, and finally brought down inside the 5. And the 3rd quarter will end with Nick Dembski lighting a fire under this sellout crowd once again on Thursday Night Football. The Bombers sitting at 4-4 on the year, trying to find a way into the win column as Ottawa loses Drew Brown and tries to come back once again with Dustin Crum. Ottawa Redblacks have an opportunity based on what we saw from Dustin Crum in the chance that he's now been given with Drew Brown getting dinged after having a sensational play, backhanded shovel, getting it to William Stanback. But Winnipeg's offense kind of in a rut right now as well, trying to find a way to close it out. The demons of last week, you wonder if they'll start to creep back in.
Well, and that's where Brady Oliveira comes in. That's where we just saw Nick Dembski come in, get involved again. And going into this 4th quarter, they have a chance to really put their foot on the gas here, down inside of plus territory and in the red zone. But yeah, too bad for Drew Brown. Hopefully he's not hurt to a point where he may miss a bunch of time. Nick Dembski over 100 yards with a quarter to go. And by the way, Nick Dembski loves playing at home. I mean, out of all the guys, Dembski averages close to 100 yards at home and 37 on the road. He loves to play in front of the jam-packed stadium here.
No doubt, the energy just different in front of friends and family as Collaros takes the snap, hands it off to Brady. First touchdown of 2025 for the reigning MOP.
There it is. Time to really grab onto this game is time for Brady Oliveira. Dembski gets him down there. Oliveira finishes it. First touchdown of the season for number 20. Big boys up front get the spike.
I wonder if Collaros went over, gave him a little helmet tap and said, I told you you'd get in there at some point. I don't think any of us were doubting it. Week 21 touches, 168 yards at Calgary, but not into the end zone. Here tonight, finally hits pay dirt.
And I'm not surprised Brady handed the ball off to an offensive lineman, because Chris Kolinkowski here, the center, watch him drive off the ball after snapping it to Zach Collaros. He takes Cleon Lang, bends him backwards, and drives him to the ground. And that's exactly the gap that Brady Oliveira hits.
To have a little sense of humor about the struggle at the start of the year as Kolinkowski takes a seat right next to Oliveira on the bench.
Was Brady trying to coach the O-line up of how to talk to the camera?
The lead restored, 27-10. As Pimpleton trying to get instant offense, and a flag comes out late as he was trying to cut his way back and ran into a wall of white special teams coverage. And
during their turn,
Evan Holm is down.
Ottawa number 99, 10-yard penalty, first down Ottawa.
As the call goes against Ottawa, and Drew Brown's injury from earlier on in this ball game, you can see after making an unbelievable play.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, kept the drive alive, got him down to the goal line. This was the first drive of the second half. It was an 8-minute drive, got him right down inside, and then on that play where he was escaping from impossible angles, nips off and doesn't look like he'll return.
Unfortunate is last week 5 touchdowns. We've been highlighting here throughout the evening. All the Redblacks away games this year have finished as 1-possession games. They're 2-3 so far. In recent history between the Redblacks and Bombers, each of their last 5 has been decided by fewer than 10 points. But some work to be done from the Ottawa offense to tighten this down after Brady Oliveira into the end zone. As Evan Holm down on the turf. Last week on the road at Toronto, and the earpiece is in right now watching Dustin Crum. Crum to begin the proceedings here will sail this one over the intended receiver to start the fourth.
So Tommy Condell, the offensive coordinator, now has got a different tool in the toolbox to try and formulate offense using Dustin Crum, different than Drew Brown. Started that series with straight drop back, which was similar to Drew Brown, but there's plenty of time here to chip away at this lead. You can't score 17 points in one play.
Working the line of scrimmage, trying to communicate to Moore to the right, and now the flag comes out, and Mike O'Shea pointing down at the play clock.
O'Shea is celebrating his sold-out crowd. Turned around and gave them a standing ovation.
Evan Holm still on the sideline, but got up onto his feet after we left you for the break. So he'll watch his defense operate here with the crowd into it. Play clock again, rolls inside 10 seconds. Crum against 4-man pressure, checks it down underneath. Daniel Adebaboye, massive hit from Brennan Cranby, but bounces off of him. And Adebaboye just refuses to be tackled this season. Somehow he got the first down from a check down.
Well, if you want to quiet the sold-out crowd, that's how you do it. Unreal second effort from Adebaboye, because Cranby had him well short right there. Just didn't wrap up.
And everything from his film at Bryant looked just like that. He's been doing that for a long time. Drafted 15th overall by the Argonauts back in 22. Now here in Ottawa, bouncing off tacklers is a little change of pace. Go with Braylon Addison, who Tommy Condell never afraid to use as a running back.
Yeah, not even just on the fly sweeps that we see quite often from all the teams. But he'll put him right in the backfield, as you can see, number 0. Little jump cut there, and good production on first down.
Not sure Khalil Pimpleton knew he was going to sign up to be a lead blocker, but found a way on that last one. Underneath, Gino Lewis gets the first down. And 87 continues the rhythm as Dustin Crum finding a way.
You can tell just with a sense of urgency there and a little hop at the line of scrimmage, Gino Lewis knew he was the primary.
Settles down underneath. taking his time at the line of scrimmage, but seems to have total control of the offense. Knowing who and where to communicate to and get things going. Steps up in the pocket, pressure on, underneath, Keelan White gets hammered. Trey Vavel, standout returner, getting action as a corner, flies in on Keelan White, who hangs on.
And turned to Vavel and said, hey, nice job, that was a good hit. That's a little mutual respect right there. Nice catch and ability of Keelan White to hang on, and a little attaboy to Vavel.
Third overall pick, earning his key. This one, quick throw up in the air, up for grabs, and they'll say incomplete. As Evan Holm back in the game, good to see him after he was getting help from the training staff. But Suits, you called it as soon as that one came out of the hand of Crum. You knew it was in a danger zone.
Yeah, and the intended target, Pimpleton, it just was, you saw Holm coming right downhill full speed. It looked like he was going to take that one to the house. Crum put enough heat on it to beat Holm to get it cleanly, but he punched it out.
Dexter Lawson Jr. flying in from the corner, closest to it at the end of the play. Play clock down to 5. Ottawa gets it off, and Crum once again standing tall and just ripping it right into the chest of Khalil Pimpleton. It'll be short of the marker, but third down, and will Ottawa take the points here with Lewis Ward?
Defensive coordinator Jordan Younger is pushing Ottawa to run the ball on 2nd and long. That last defensive set, he had his linebackers 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. All his DBs more than 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. Just take a quick look at that last 2nd down as we look, see how deep these linebackers are. The DBs way back here. He's saying, Ottawa, run the ball. We want you to on 2nd and 10. That might have been the option right there, but Jordan Younger is just tempting them. Go ahead and run it. We'll rally. And those linebackers, by the way, are sitting right at the first down markers. So any curls right at those markers like we're seeing right here, and that was the play, they should be in position to make the hit immediately. And the DBs are protecting against the deep ball.
I got a feeling we're starting to deal with some of the classic August cramps here with the Heat in Winnipeg. Expected to see it last Saturday when these two teams were playing because it was hot and steamy in both places, but getting his calf worked on that time was Khalil Pimpleton. While shooting back some hydration on the sideline. As now some confusion on the Ottawa side. It's 3rd and 1, and they sent out the field goal unit. They're not going for it in plus territory, down by 17 points. Settling for a 46-yard field goal. As Lewis Ward, never in doubt, but that one will be widely discussed in Ottawa. Take them where you can get them, I guess, if you're Ottawa, but
with more than 10 minutes to go, you've made it a 2-possession game.
And plenty of momentum if they can get a stop, but that is a large if right now. Begin with a quick play action throw. Evans Clercius running directly into 2 tacklers. Once again requiring CJ Colden and DeAndre Lamont to make a play in the open field on Kevin Clercius. We've seen that plenty of times here tonight for a gain of 4.
A little pressure off the edge. Big 2nd and 6 here for Zach Collaros. Darius Pickett came off the edge on that one, and I'm expecting him to make a play or 2 before it's over. After that deep ball he gave up in the first half.
Zach happy to work the play clock a little bit here as he goes hard count. Ottawa stays put, and then he'll check it down underneath. Oliveira leans forward. He needs to get to the 50, and the spot looks like he'll have more than enough. And now a flag comes out behind the play.
Well, if this is a late hit against the Bombers. This is a penalty they don't get.
It looked as though it was after yards gained, so they'd have a first down, but it would back them up.
After yards are gained and after the play. 10-yard misconduct penalty, Winnipeg number 69. It's first down.
Wow. Well, I guess Kendall Randolph just decided that he was done with Lorenzo Malden.
Yeah, Randolph was working on Lorenzo Malden, left of your screen, and he's okay till now. And then this is the part I think he got the penalty. He flopped right there. And right at the top of your screen, he's right there, and he's going to roll over top of him.
Lozo, who's had shoulder issues in the past. Not look comfortable at the end of that one, unfortunately. We'll see if he comes back into the ball game. Regardless, it's 1st and 10 from the 40. Oliveira, as Ottawa starts trying to rip at the football, hangs on to it, cuts his way through the Ottawa rush defense.
Yeah, that'd be tempting. It's tempting as a defender in this situation, down by 2 scores, that you want to try and create a turnover. Try and tackle the football, rip at the football. The problem with that is you're not in good position to actually bring Brady Oliveira down.
I'm trying to imagine any way to bring Brady Oliveira down when he actually gets rolling. The lower body strength and you start ripping at the arms. There's no way. Picks up a 1st down on 1st down. Oliveira resets to the right of Zach Collaros. Hand it off to him again. Jump cut. Bounces off one tackler. Leans his way forward to the 55 as Oliveira leading the Canadian Football League when it comes to running backs of yards from scrimmage per game, and he's done it kind of quietly, but since missing a significant chunk of time at the start of the season, just hacked away, and it's almost gotten to the point where it feels like we're just expecting it from him, so we don't give him enough credit because of the way he's playing.
Yeah, true. And you know, James Butler leads the league in rushing, but yards from scrimmage, they've been tapping into Brady's ability as a pass catcher. And going back to that last game last week, had 100 yards receiving and led his team catching the ball out of the backfield against Calgary.
You're seeing it right now. He came into tonight's game with 180 yards after contact. Not afraid to lower the shoulder and get busy as Collaros gets hit on the throw. This falls incomplete, looking for Nick Dembski on 2nd down, so Ottawa will get the football back.
Yeah, this would be one of those stats that you talked about earlier, where you take the ones that are knocked down, because it was the pressure that just stopped the forward throwing motion. See Collaros trying to step up in the pocket, and that pressure off the B gap just stopped his forward throwing motion and didn't allow him to follow through. That fell about 10 yards short.
Saw Bob Dice putting the peace fingers up there. He was calling for the 2-man return
because of that sidewinding kick.
Yeah. Jamison Sheehan, see if he one-steps this one and goes right or left. He does hammer it down. Picked up by Cole Pimpleton. As the punt unit avoids Adarius Pickett on the opposite side. Week 11, all East versus West games.
Those big guys having some fun. No, hey, and it affects the opposing offense. We've seen it tonight.
A great environment. Brutal if you're a backup quarterback coming in like Dustin Crum. As he completes another one. And Geno Lewis actually getting more touches right now than when Drew Brown was in earlier before he left with injury.
It's actually been quite impressive with Dustin Crum's ability to handle this crowd noise, because they turn up the volume just before the snap, and he's trying to communicate and he's been getting it done. Players know what they need to do.
And this one nearly taken away by Willie Jefferson, but Geno down the sideline gets another Ottawa 1st down.
Talked in the pregame about Willie Jefferson and his ability to knock the ball down, how much he studies. He was close on this one, but it was so quick that Crum got it out there to Geno.
The attention of the left guard, Drew Desjardins, communicating the snap from Crum, and the entire protection Demski, there's pressure on. They get it to Braylon Addison. Wrapped up by Evan Holm. Got Cam Allen flying down as well from free safety, and they'll spot it 2nd and 1.
Yeah, that's the blitz coming from Winnipeg, and this is the blitz beater. Quick curl, you got a one-on-one. Holm has to protect against the deep ball against Addison, so the curl should be there, but you can't block them all.
Crum, who is usually the short yardage quarterback, goes in and would have it, but I think William Stanback rolled forward.
Procedure. Ottawa number 31. 5-yard penalty. It
Another
remains
one for the
second down.
crowd. Another one from the crowd trying to listen to the snap count. And in short yardage, usually there's an advantage for the offense because they do know the snap count. And the defense has to wait until they see movement. But when the crowd's going and you can't hear the snap count, you're also looking in the middle.
That's huge if they don't convert from second and short yardage to now working further down. It's tipped at the line, and it is caught. Will they still go? Pimpleton somehow change of direction on a dime. Fought back to the football.
Well, this may change the, first of all, it's a long field goal, but second, it's 3rd and 2, but the time is half of what it was on the last decision by Bob Dice.
Offense is staying. It is 3rd and 2. Fresh defensive linemen are in to rush. Jay Person, Tanner Schmeckel, Jake Thomas all came off the sideline. Crowd noise is in. Trump's got to find a way on 3rd and 2. Inside handoff, Stanback, cut it back. Crump got a block, and Evan Holm finally brings down William Stanback, but not until he crosses down to the 32-yard line.
How about Dustin Crum? The backup quarterback is not only going to run the fake nicely here, but he's going to lead the run play. He's going to make the block for Stanback. He gives it to him, and then Crum comes around the edge and gets a block.
Fitting that the marching band Winnipeg was playing for a second. That felt like a college offense for a second, just winging it. Crum looks to throw. Puts it low and away for Braylon Addison, who makes the grab and hangs on.
Well, you got to go back to the Pimpleton on the tip at the line of scrimmage, fighting back to get that one, keep this drive alive after the short yardage play.
Back to short yardage they go, 2nd and 1. Takes the snap, goes underneath. The original rush, looks like Kyrie Wilson was coming over the top, and referee Tim Croker gives the signal. 1st down. Looks like Bob Dice is going to use up a timeout before the 3-minute warning.
Timeout.
Yep.
Ottawa.
He's got to use it now before the warning, or he'll lose it.
What do you think the sense is right now on that Ottawa sideline? Obviously disappointment with Drew Brown out, but you feel like you're right there, like you're right on the doorstep because you fought back in last week's game. You're close in this one. You're on a roll, but look at the score. You're still you got to find a way.
Yeah, two scores though. Yep. Finish this drive and you start to believe again that it's possible. And you are leaning on last week, big time. The Bombers are fighting the demons from last week, giving up the lead.
Jefferson.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it?
Yeah, barking things out across that defensive line. 1st and 10. Crum steps forward. He'll use his legs. Lots of room to the 15, to the 10. Crum breaks a tackle and wrapped up at the 7 or 8 yard line. Had 14 missed tackles forced, leading all quarterbacks coming in. He can use those to his advantage.
Willie Jefferson, it was about that time, and Crum was looking that way. They're going hurry up here, but he was saying he stopped. Jefferson off the edge. He stops to try and knock it down. He's timing his jump there, and Crum says, nope, I'm not going to test it. I'm going the other way.
And we've hit the 3-minute warning here. Drama seems to follow Dustin Crum everywhere he goes when he gets an opportunity with the Ottawa Redblacks at quarterback. They've got 1st and goal with the clock rolling. After the 3-minute warning. Crum, pressure on, fades, throws the crossing route, hung it up in the air. and incomplete, looking for Gino Lewis.
That was the audible because he saw in the pre-snap, he got him to the line of scrimmage. He called out a fakes count to see that the defense would declare. And when he saw all these guys up here at the line, he knew he had Gino on a crossing route, but he just had to float it out in front of him and let him run it to him. The pressure off the edge, they couldn't block.
There was a 100-meter dash where Gino got 15 meters on Trey Vavel, and they couldn't finish it off. Another opportunity here on second. From to the outside, throws an absolute dime. Justin Hardy into the end zone.
Again, I'm impressed at how Dustin Crum, the backup quarterback, has been communicating without being able to talk to his teammates and playing with this level of efficiency. Kept this drive alive. Great throw to the outside to Justin Hardy. And it's a one-possession game just like that.
If you're at home, you might think, why'd you get so excited about such a simple out route throw?
No, that's a great throw.
Sometimes you got to be live at a CFL stadium to see the perfect angle. There was not much room at all. And Dustin Crum fitted in, as does Lewis Ward through the uprights. 11 plays, 91 yards in 4:04.
Justin Hardy's coming out of the backfield, and here I'm going to show you what you're talking about, Marsh, how difficult that throw is. I mean, you've got to be bang on, because here he comes out of the backfield, then it's a speed cut, and Nichols is trying to close on it, so the target for Crum is small. Stop it right here. See, this is the target. He can only see a little bit of that shoulder pad. He's got to put it right outside, on the money, on time, or Nichols is going underneath it, going the other way. So that's the throw and how difficult it really is to get it out there. Plus, in the CFL field, it's a wider throw than normal.
And how fast the elite defensive backs like Dietrich Nichols close that door.
That's absolutely right.
You miss by 6 inches, it's going the other direction for a 100-plus yard touchdown return. We've seen plenty of them so far this year, but Nichols will regroup, and Hardy knows they need more.
So the Ottawa Redblacks have a timeout. They have time with 2:36 to go to kick it deep here and not go onside.
Ward hacks down the 20-yard line. Trey Vavel, coverage unit all over it, but not until he reaches the 40. The Ottawa defense, work to be done here. We'll see what Winnipeg offensive coordinator Jason Hogan decides to dial up to eat some clock and move the sticks, as Marco Dubois takes a knee after the special teams coverage, and the training staff will look at him. So another couple of seconds for Winnipeg's offense to think this one through.
Well, I'm not sure, you know, they're trying to grind the clock and put together first downs. William Fields, on the other hand, is probably reminding his guys, starting with Javon Santos Knox, tell them that on first down, if they don't hand it to 20, I'll be shocked. And you got to be in your gaps to stop Brady Oliveira, especially on first down. And then we'll see what happens on second. But this is where the Bombers want to chew it up, finish the game with Brady running the ball, and just grind down that 2:30.
Haven't even left the huddle, and Zach Claro's already looking at the clock before he breaks it. Only 10 sacks coming in through 9 games for the Ottawa Redblacks. What a time this would be for them to potentially put Winnipeg into a bad down and distance. As some pointing at the football, and maybe it rolled away off the hash, just trying to make sure there wasn't a penalty here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with snap infraction, so they'll reset.
It looks like there might have been a marker or something beside the ball. Official picked it up and went back to the spot.
Now Winnipeg with the crowd eerily silent. Well, watch on is a big stick. Oliveira got the call, and Michael Wakefield was all over it.
Wow. So you think William Fields reminded them that on first down they're going to hand it to Brady Oliveira? Wakefield unblocked into the backfield.
Well, that's the 4th tackle for loss on the evening, and they came in with 18 on the season. They might not be getting a lot of sacks, but they're certainly bringing down ball carriers behind the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 12. Collaros with the game clock and play clock rolling. Takes the snap. Pressure on. Zach gets it away. Caught. Dembski. Forever the pressure release needed for the home crowd.
Adarius Pickett knew this play all the way, and he ran through all the other zones. He's coming from this side on a deep crosser, and all that Zach Collaros needs is a little bit of time to wait for him to get there. And Pickett crosses everyone's zone because he's just playing the play. He says, you know what, they're throwing it to Dembski. I'm just going to take him across the zone. That wasn't his side of the field at all. But he knew the play. He knew what the guy that he wanted. Collaros wanted Dembski. He found him. And a big catch by 10.
A throw by Collaros. Pickett in coverage. Pressure right in his face. Clock rolls inside 2 minutes remaining. They're nearing Ottawa's side of the field. Heavy team is in. They'll play action. Flip it out. Jared Stearns blocks in front. Trying to stay on his feet. Skips his way just inside the 50.
I see it, Jason Hogan.
Yep.
That's a nice looking play to fake it to Oliveira and not go to Dembski this time. I saw a couple of Ottawa defenders go right to Dembski when the fake happened to Oliveira, thinking he was the next option, and they go to Stearns. That's a great call by the offensive coordinator, Jason Hogan.
Dials it up, but for right now, we send Zach Collaros to the sidelines as Chris Strevler steps into the ball game. Already with a touchdown plunge earlier tonight in short yardage. This is 2nd in a long 3, but they're happy to grind this one out on 2nd and 3rd. And Strevler looks like he's got maybe a yard on that one, so now 3rd and 2. Minute 14 remaining. And you hear whistles.
Might be a timeout now.
Yeah, Ottawa's taking it.
Bob Dice could have possibly taken that before that last snap.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Almost the full
3rd
20
down.
seconds off the clock by the time that Strevler snapped it.
Lorenzo.
But takes it now. Sorry, Marsh.
Yeah, Lorenzo Malden fired up, being involved in that play. Good to see him back on the field after getting rolled up on earlier. As Dice yells out instructions, but interesting decision for Winnipeg, right? On 2nd down and 3, you send out Strevler. He doesn't get very much at all, and you think, well, maybe if we get it down to 3rd and 1, we'll go for it with Strevler on the short team once again, try and seal this one on our own terms. Well, out comes Sergio Castillo from forever away.
Another bomb necessary, and it's dead air in here. I don't see any wind at all.
63 yards last week. Thought it was for the victory.
Oh, man. Can he do it again?
Nothing is moving. Snap, holds, kick. Castillo looking at it. And Pimpleton's got room to run. 1 minute remaining in the ball game, and Pimpleton's got it across the 40. Down the sideline. At midfield. Khalil Pimpleton returns the missed field goal for the touchdown. Shock and awe in Winnipeg.
Wow. Come on. So we're carrying over from week 10. We're just going to carry it over. It started, this kick started right down the, well, just to the inside, and then faded outside. Pimpleton with room. No flags. Down the rail with an escort.
Wow. Lorenzo Malden Out in front, helping the return as well. One of your sack masters from a couple years ago, emotional leader, is now Lewis Ward. Nails this one through. Tie ball game. And a 17-point Winnipeg Blue Bombers advantage erased for the second week in a row.
Well, those mental demons are hitting them right now. This is what the Bombers, every single player out there is trying to fight off. Let's see if the hold, how that looked from Sheehan. Pimpleton, you know, I'm thinking at this point, midfield would be a great start with a minute to go for Crum. And he just hit another gear, and goodbye.
117 yards. And Bob Dice fired up, as he should be, between Pimpleton and Trey Vavel. They both were tied for the longest punt return in the CFL this year. Both had returns of 97. That one somehow 20 yards better on the missed field goal, and it goes for the major.
Well, last week, that punt return from Pimpleton, that got their comeback started. Tonight, it ties this game. Now there are 53 seconds left, and Collaros now changes the strategy.
Yep.
He's got time to get it in field goal range.
It goes from sit on the football to score the football. But first, the return. As Vavel has an adventure at his own 25 and heads to the sideline.
They might have to go back to Sergio Castillo for a long bomb, depending on what Collaros can do with 47 seconds.
As again, Marco Dubois takes a knee after special teams coverage. The final regular season game last year, Winnipeg at Montreal, Castillo did miss a field goal in around 45, 50 yards off the top of my head. Thought the game was done. Crazy wind kicks up. They went right back to Castillo. He hits the game winner from around 50 yards. He's done it before.
Well, and I don't question the decision. The kick, if he makes it, and he's made it every time asked to make those long kicks, including the 63-yarder outdoors in Calgary. Yes, he had a little breeze behind him in that one. And there's your 63-yard rushers, and he's got two of the top.
Well, three of them. He's got the 63, 60. That doesn't even look real.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't question the decision from Coach O'Shea to say, yeah, go and make another long one, and the game's over. This time didn't happen, but they may need him again.
See what Zach Dembski and company can do first. On first down, Zach loads it up for Dembski. Right down the middle of the field. High up in the air
and intercepted. King Ambers, the backup from the wide field. Dembski had him. You're going to get a good look at Dembski's route. Stem him up the field, back to the post, and he's in behind coverage. But the closing speed from Ambers gets there, gathers himself, and this time there's no reach over the top by the receiver to win the play.
Collaros knows he just missed it. Short and to the right, and King Ambers, 8th-round draft pick this year from Texas A&M Commerce. First year in the Canadian Football League. Was only going to play special teams, but there he is with a game-changing interception, conducting Crum. Get Ottawa's offense into great starting field position. That won't help with Braylon Addison. And here's the other side of the equation, as you always say, final 3 minutes CFL, stick around. If you are too aggressive here for Ottawa, you might give up a Sergio Castillo field goal at the end of this one yet.
Exactly. They've got to manage this clock well and take it to overtime. Would be the strategy for Ottawa, I'm thinking.
With all the momentum, the wind at the back of the Redblacks.
You don't want to have to punt it and give the Bombers any time. There you go.
Playing a dangerous game, knowing the leg of Sergio Castillo. Winnipeg has a timeout as well. So Daniel Adeboboye rolls it forward, 3rd and a couple. And all of a sudden, the tension on the Ottawa sideline.
Well, you got to kick it. You got to kick this. You run it down. Timeout called by Michael O'Shea.
Winnipeg.
So they
Timeout Winnipeg.
Coach O'Shea has to use his timeout there. So the clock won't start until the snap of the ball. And depending on where this return gets to, maybe one play for Zach before a long shot by Castillo.
Short memory for Collaros after just throwing the interception to King Ambers. Across weeks 8 through 10, 8 of the 12 CFL games were decided by 4 points or less. Last week it was 3 points, 1 point, 4 points, 1 point. Tie ball game, 27 seconds remaining to kick off week 11. Been a blocked punt earlier tonight. They have to protect it, and they do. Right down the middle of the field for Trey Vavel. He's got about 10 yards of running room, and the coverage unit is all over it. Darius Pickett.
Pickett, there was a play in Pickett. It was coming. That's the play in special teams. Now, there's still enough time for 2 plays and a possible field goal, or 1 for sure and a possible field goal attempt. Zach needs what? About 15, 20 yards, but that's great coverage by Darius Pickett.
Pickett with 47 tackles on defense, 5th in the CFL. He has the most special teams tackles of any defensive player in the top 25 of tackles. He's been doing that plenty. Let's see if Collaros will pull a rabbit out of the hat. He'll step forward, use his legs. He's got room to run. Can he get into Castillo territory?
It's in range. It's in range.
12 seconds left.
Do you risk one more play? One more, get it in the middle. Get an extra 4 or 5, take a little pressure off Castillo, but he's in his range now.
From here it would be about 57.
He wasn't short on that last try. It was wide.
Great point. Yeah, it was the accuracy. It wasn't the length. The power of Castillo's leg unquestioned at this point as they'll look to throw it to the outside, and ice in the veins of Nick Dembski. That is well within Castillo territory.
Now you send him out.
Does this look like a quarterback that just threw what could have been a game-ending interception?
It looks like a quarterback going straight to the Hall of Fame when he's done playing. Stepping in there, understanding he's got the time to make that throw and make the catch, take his receiver right to the sideline, and give his kicker a chance.
Ian LaRue will snap. The punter, Jamison Sheehan, is the holder as the clock strikes 0 here on Thursday Night Football in Winnipeg. Castillo, as flags come up. The kick is good.
That's the flags.
And the penalty is against Ottawa. He misses the bomb. It goes back for a touchdown return to tie things up.
Ottawa. The penalties decline. The field goal is good. The game is over.
But Winnipeg finds a way here at home to move to 5-4, and it's some Redblacks redemption for Sergio Castillo.
Don't question the decision on the Castillo miss, and he knew he was going to give him another chance. I think right now Dustin Crum, who did a very good job coming off the bench for Drew Brown to get this game to a tie with the help from the return from Pimpleton, is going to question the time management when there was 30 seconds left. They had a first down in their own end.
Third career walk-off game-winning field goal for Sergio Castillo as he and Lewis Ward. Some mutual respect right there, deep in conversation. And Drew Brown couldn't finish this ball game. Dustin Crum and Khalil Pimpleton brought the Ottawa Redblacks back.
You know what they're all saying when they walk around there? They're looking at each other going, that's our game, man. That's what happens. That's what happens.
The Canadian Football League continues to deliver. Big hits, high flying, late drama. What else do you want? Toronto, Edmonton, you're up next. Friday Night Football. For Britt Dort, Glenn Suter, and Marshall Ferguson, thanks so much for watching. An epic thriller here from Winnipeg as the Bombers find a way to win.